All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's stream. Today, we're going to be talking about Quidditch Champions. I know it's that secret game that we've all been waiting for, isn't it? Anyhow, I'm joined today by Connor, also known as Harry Potter Explained. How you doing, Connor?
I'm good. How are you, Alex?
I'm doing fine, thanks, Connor. I mean, it's not like we already knew this beforehand, but hey.
The magic of YouTube. We've just jumped on, not spoke at all. What
No.
are you about?
No, we said nothing to one another. We just joined a Discord call and we're like, I'm not going to talk to you until the stream begins.
Oh, it's fun watching this. Obviously, I've got a stream up here. Obviously, watching this Quidditch World Cup. Oh, I used to love this mini game, except when I used to always end up on yellow and just never be able to get the house sort of like the record. Oh, brings back memories.
Yes. All right, everyone. So just so you're aware, we're going to give it roughly like 10 minutes or so, just so that people can come into the stream, join, and all get excited and, I don't know, put down some thoughts, I guess, about Quidditch Champions in the meantime. And then after like roughly 10 minutes or so, we'll start. So just to give you a little bit of breakdown of what we're doing today, obviously we've got some Quidditch World Cup stuff in the background for you all right now, so you can watch that and, I don't know, get excited by a game that you already play. And basically, we're going to go over our thoughts and opinions of Quidditch Champions today, because of course that is right around the corner. It's coming out on the 3rd of September. It's not very far away now. And we have lots to talk about regarding it, in fact. A hell of a lot to actually go over. Although I will confess they have made my life and Connor's life difficult by constantly revealing things that we already had written down. But that's fine. It's absolutely fine. It's all good. Either way, yeah, we've got quite a lot to showcase here. And my plan for this stream is myself and Connor are going to talk about a certain subject regarding Quidditch Champions. Then once we finish sort of saying what we want to say regarding that, we're then going to sort of pass it over to you guys in the chat. And you guys can give your thoughts and opinions on that particular subject. And then we will obviously read out your comments and answer any questions, etc. If you have any questions right now as it stands, though, for either myself or for Connor, then do actually write them down now. It's a great opportunity to do it while we're waiting for people to come in. So write it down. I love the way that Quidditch World Cup also makes my face nice and pinky red. I get a new look. Oh man. Oh yeah, the Quidditch cards are so blurry.
Oh, well, I've never looked at them. Like, I mean, in all the other games, I'm always obsessed with collecting them all. In that game, I've never looked at them ever. You know, I know one guy who follows me. He's like tried to complete 100% recently, and obviously you've got to go through, win the Quidditch Cup as every. I don't know where you get the motivation from, to be honest, to play what, like 15 different times. I can barely go through it once. It's a fun game when you've not played it for a few years, but yeah, once you get to like the 20th game, it's like, oh, when will this end?
Yeah, no, I think from memory, don't you have to do all the special moves as well, like so many times,
Yeah.
as well as, of course,
Oh,
like
it's
every team.
God knows, yeah.
Oh, it's insane. I looked at the whole 100% of this game in the past and went, I can't be asked. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it does make me think, obviously, for Quidditch Champions, especially on PlayStation, like Platinum it, we'll have to win the World Cup as every team. So, you know, go back to that sort of Quidditch World Cup of madness of getting 100%. I do wonder if that'll be the case with that one. But yeah, seeing this, obviously, yeah, brings back. I've probably played it once in the last 10 years, Quidditch World Cup. So yeah, I mean, I'm actually enjoying watching this. All these sort of like practice modes do bring back a lot of fun memories.
Mm. I will confess my last recent time playing it wasn't so fun to begin with, and then it sort of got better, and then it got repetitive, and I went and played the extended mod. But otherwise, it was fine. But
That's how I felt like, yeah. Then first, once you've got past, once you've learnt the combos and stuff, and you can make the games go a little bit faster. But once you get to about the 8th or 9th game, yeah, I went on flight mode when I was doing my video for it a few weeks back. It was just, yeah, went on pilot mode, switched off, and before I knew it, I was lifting the World Cup. I was like, oh, perfect, it's over. I can turn this off now.
I rage quit. That's not quite true. I didn't quite rage quit. I got raged at the beginning because the game, I still don't know how it did that. The game in the options menu, you're like this, Connor. It was all mapped to the actual keys on the keyboard and everything, but then it mapped all the movement controls to my mouse. So every time I moved my mouse, it meant that it would just throw the quaffle anywhere it wanted. I was like, what is going on? I was confused for like probably half an hour or something. This is almost impossible to play. Finally figured it out. So then basically I ended up just not moving my mouse in any capacity while playing it. But yeah, that was weird.
Passing in this game, it did feel like that anyway. When you press the pass, but it just went somewhere. It might have been to your player, it might have been to the opposition. It wasn't mapped out brilliantly, even in the actual control. So it wasn't too far off the actual game. That so when you try to, I just remember trying to do the combos, and 90% of the time when you try and get too clever, get to like an 8 or 9 combo, it ended up with the opposition. It's like, oh, I'm just wasting 4 minutes trying to be clever for nothing.
Alright, let's see what some of the chat are saying, see if they've got any questions. So we've got one question. Do you think that now that they've confirmed 6v6 mode, is that going to be ranked? And will you just play as one role or two like they previously advertised? That's a good question, to be honest. And we're going to talk more, by the way, about the whole online mode in a bit, and we will actually bring up this 6v6 bit because we had a load of notes for it originally not being the case. But anyway, I don't know. To be honest, I always thought that they might do it in a way where you switch between players. That was always the theory I had, that you get to play for a certain period of time with a certain player, and then eventually they switch you to another one. But I don't know. I'm curious to see what they actually do, because the problem is, of course, if you join an online game, if there's a particular player that's not very exciting to play as, say, for example, the keeper, then, you know, everyone's just not going to pick the keeper, are they? They're just going to go and play as all the other characters, so then you'd be stuck with a boring character forever, which is not great, so I don't think they'll do it that way. I don't know, though. What do you have to say regarding that, Connor?
So yeah, when it comes to obviously the reason we've got the 3v3 where you can play as keeper, chaser, beater, chaser, seeker, chaser, so you're at least guaranteed to play one chaser. But when it comes to 6v6, obviously, yeah, I'm guessing it will be you'll be locked at one position, and I do think where it'll be if they just don't fill that position, hopefully not playing keeper's not boring, or people do want to play it, but it might just be where if it is a 6v6, you have the opportunity, hopefully, to play as that dual role, but if not, it might be filled by a bot. But I think it'd be better off, yeah, you can, if they haven't got all 6 in, you can play as chaser, keeper, or chaser, seeker, whichever role's not filled. But I guarantee you the seeker role will be filled because apparently everyone's just plays a seeker. But yeah, hopefully with that. And then in terms of a ranked mode, I just don't know with this sort of game. I just the direction they were taking it in with the 3v3 and the bots, I just don't think they'll have, like a ranked mode or any sort of competitive play. I think it would just be, you go into a game, you win or lose, come out of it, you're into another game with your friends or with just random people. I think it would just be one-off games. I don't think there'll be any ranked play, unfortunately, in this game. And as someone who plays like a lot of competitive like sports games, that's a bit of a shame for me, but yeah, I don't think the direction they're taking this in will be competitive. Or ranked modes.
Actually, speaking of the ranked bit, I was going to bring up that point regarding the fact that we didn't originally have 6v6, right? Because we had the bots. Now, usually if you make a ranked game, you're going to make it also so the esports related competitions are going to take it forwards, right? That's usually how it goes these days. And given that they didn't even do that to start with this game, I mean, they are changing it now, and we'll talk about it in a bit. But there's a possibility, I suppose, that it might come later on down the line. Yeah, it has a chance, but I think on launch, no. I can't see it happening on launch. I think it's going to be, like Connor said, you know, you go in, you play a match, you win, cool. That's pretty much going to be how it'll go, I think, for the online. But we'll see. They have a chance to change things here, and seeing as they are listening to the community, I think if enough people talk about this and bring up the points, that could change. That could very well change, actually.
I just think on your point of like esports, I just think like the name Harry Potter and Quidditch as a whole, when you look at Rocket League and these sort of games, I did think at a time, this game, just because of its name and the sport that it is, it's just so popular and well known. It was almost a gimme to have an esports, but yeah, I don't think it'll be coming straight away, and we'll see. By the time they roll out the 6v6, if this game is still going strong, whether it or not it does have that chance for an esport, because I think it'd be fun to watch. I'm not a guy who watches a lot of esports or anything, but I think it'd be fun to watch some Quidditch esports, just out of the thing of it being Harry Potter and just crazy Quidditch. Especially if this game is quite fast paced, I feel like it'd be a fun sort of esport to watch or even playing.
I think there's a chance that it could come later on. I definitely can't see anything at launch, though. Launch, I just don't see it happening, given the stuff that's happened before launch already. I can't see it happening. Right, I think we've probably given it enough time. More people will come in, I'm sure, over time. That's fine. They can catch up. Anyway, I think we'll start off then with what we're going to go over regarding Quidditch Champions. So what I will do for the time being is we will replace the lovely Quidditch World Cup, which looks awesome in the background, with some Quidditch Champions so that you guys can actually see what Quidditch Champions looks like. And yeah, we'll go from there. So we're going to go with the Quidditch Champions stuff. Here we go. Alright, so we're going to go over, I think, first of all, generally the premise of how people have received the game. I think this is the number one thing to really talk about before anything else, because from my experience and looking at it online, it's not been a great outcome, has it? Let's be honest, Connor.
No, not all. I mean, comments on Twitter, but even my videos where I've talked about the 3v3 or things like, it is very 50-50. Like, you compare it to Hogwarts Legacy, where it was just everyone was so excited and just looking forward to this game. There is quite a lot of negativity, and probably rightly so with some of the stuff when it comes to Quidditch Champions.
I've been fascinated because, of course, Connor here has actually been a part of the playtest, so obviously he knows a little bit more about this game than I do, because I decided not to be a part of the playtest for this at all. I could have done, but I chose not to. I want to go in at launch with a blind eye and really see what it's going to be like, and kind of give my brutal, if you like, honest opinions on launch then. But yeah, I mean, I've looked at comments from various people now online in, live streams, videos, etc. It's really been an interesting thing to see, but I mean, overall, like you said, there is kind of a 50-50 split, I think, but I'm leaning a little bit more to the more negative side at the moment, it seems. But a lot of these things are kind of, I would say, complaints not only about the graphics, which we will get to in a bit, but more about like things such as the online. That was a big thing with the bot problem, etc. But also just the lack of, I think, advertisement is the really big one here. And I'm going to actually have a go at this game for that, because I think it's poor. I think so far the advertisement that they've done, is great in the last 2 weeks or so. I think they've done a great job. They've been throwing it out there in the last 2 weeks and showing off all manner of things for this game. That's great. The problem is it's too late. This should have been done a long time ago. This should have been spread over many months, in my opinion, because what they have done is they showed something off, got massive backlash, and then immediately just, went off and said nothing while everyone's begging, if you like, at that point for some good news or something to hear that's positive about it. And instead they just went completely radio silent. And then, of course, all the people like yourself that have played tested it who could actually, confirm or make sure that people are a little bit more at ease about certain parts of this, they're not allowed to do that because, of course, of the NDA, which, again, I think, yes, an NDA is important regarding not spoiling the whole game. I agree with this. Of course I do. But when there are certain major important points like the online mode bit that need to kind of be brought up and talked about overall, if you just don't address this for months on end, people are not going to care anymore and they're going to move on and look at something else. And I think they've really actually screwed themselves over a bit here by doing this. I really do. So if there's anything I have to say regarding this game going forwards to the dev team, change your marketing. You've got to start doing that. You need to, as soon as this game comes out, keep the marketing going in a positive light. And if people have a problem, come out and talk about it. Don't hide for months on end. Come out and talk about it, because otherwise people are going to go. But what do you think, Connor? What do you have to say regarding the marketing?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's being awful. Just for lack of gameplay is so concerning. Like you say, we're not allowed to talk about it. People who have played it, I could come out and say some really good things. I could come out and say some really bad things. It's sort of to not allow us to talk. It's almost like a fear thing of this scared people are enjoying it, of getting feedback where people haven't liked it. And it's just that. And like I say, what you say in terms of the lack of marketing. I mean, they didn't have a social media person in place when it came out about 2 weeks after they announced it in June, May, whenever they officially released the trailer. They was looking for a social media head of social media there. So it's just bizarre to announce a game and not have any sort of marketing plan in place, and then to go through the process while the game's coming out. It's just been bizarre. And like you say, it feels like this guy might have been in place 2 weeks ago. He's got his feet in the ground and they've started to release stuff now. But yeah, they need to continue that now because they're so behind the mark. They've missed the mark almost in terms of they've had a few months to build up this game when people have been criticising, and it's not been there. We got the roadmap last night, which we'll talk about, but it just feels almost rushed and too late now. They're playing catch-up, and I think they will be playing catch-up going forward now, really. I don't think they can catch up to where they should be at because we're 10 days away from the game coming out, and we haven't really seen gameplay. Like, the latest trailer they released 2 days ago is sort of like parts from the film, cinematics from the game. They really need to show people gameplay, or at least allow people who've played it to start discussing it, to either defend the game, say, oh, this part's actually really good, and this position's fun, or criticize it. Allow that just so people are aware of what's going on. I think it will help. This shrouding secrecy with 10 days to go is only going to have people going, what's the point? I don't know too much about this game. I don't really want to spend £30 on the game. I just think it's being a bad job overall in terms of, especially when you compare it to Hogwarts Legacy. Their marketing was spot on. It was perfect in many ways. And you just look at this game, it's like, what are you doing? You've dropped the quaffle, pun intended, like, so badly.
Yeah, no, I agree. The marketing, I have to compare it actually to Hogwarts Legacy because they're the two most recent HP related titles, right? And if you look at the marketing for Hogwarts Legacy, it was very good. I actually thought the marketing for that was great. They really kept it on the ball. They kept people in the loop about it, and they actually did address what people were asking about in good time. They were doing a good job of it, and even after the launch of the game, they still kept communicating with the community, kept talking with them. They did a fantastic job, actually, Avalanche, of just honestly announcing and communicating with the community for Hogwarts Legacy. It was a fantastic job there. But then when you compare this one, It's been a disaster, if I'm honest. I can't put it any other way. It has been a bit of a disaster. And now that they've got all this marketing for this game coming out now, all these days that they've just been pumping stuff out, I mean, it's like impossible to catch up on, if I'm honest. You're drowning in so many things that just keep pumping out and out and out, and you're like, I can't keep up with how much stuff you're throwing at me at once here. It's just out of control. At the very least, at this point, I'd honestly rather they just did a massive blog with everything all in one place rather than just separate it out into little bits, because it's just a pain in the ass to try and find it all. Like, for example, earlier we were asking, well, I was asking you actually, is there crossplay in this game? I'm trying to find it. I have no idea. And eventually, I got the answers to that from you, which was basically yes. So, these sort of things, they're important to know about, and they're just so all over the place right now that it's a mess. And no, I do not accept the excuse that you could just join the game publisher's Discord server and find it all there. That is not an excuse. The amount of people that don't use Discord is very high still. There are not going to be all these gamers that are just going to go willingly join a Discord server just to find out info on a game. They shouldn't have to do that. That's, down to the game designers, publishers, etc. to convey that properly out in the open. And they've not done that well so far. So I really pray that they do a better job of this going forwards, because so far the marketing has been poor, and the amount of people that I know as well that didn't even know this game existed is staggering. Like the other week I was like, to one of my friends, do you know about this Quidditch game that's coming out? It could be quite fun online. He went, there's a new Quidditch game? It's like, yep, Quidditch Champions. And he looked at it and went, oh, I had no idea this was a thing. See, the problem, it's just, it needs to change. It really does. If this game's going to stand a chance after its launch with its updated season life cycle, it has to keep it on point. So I beg of you, please do a better job of it. Please. I don't want this to fail.
Just comparing Hogwarts Legacy's Twitter followers compared to Quidditch Champions. So might not be the best at this point because Hogwarts Legacy's been out for a year and a half, but Hogwarts Legacy's got 490,000 Twitter followers. The Quidditch Champions Twitter feed, 3,500 Twitter followers. That is so low for a Harry Potter game, I feel, in 2024. With Twitter as well being such a big thing. Just that again, I think that just shows how much they've fumbled it and coming way too late. To have only 3,500 followers 10 days before launch for a Harry Potter game. I just feel like, me and you could announce a Harry Potter game, do some marketing, give it a year or 6 months, and you'd be aiming for your 100,000 Twitter followers, because it's just for the name alone, Harry Potter, you're sort of banking on. I just think it shows how bad of a job it's done to only have that amount of followers.
Mm-hmm. They've gatekeeped it, to be honest. That's what they've done. That's the best way of summing it up. They've gatekeeped this game far too much, and it's actually come to bite them in the arse. Is the best way of putting it. And I hope that they have learned from this. They are learning from certain mistakes with the backlash, which is positive to see. I'm glad they are. But it's very late in the game. They need to get on top of it now going forwards big time. But that's my general thoughts on the whole marketing side of things. I want to quickly just see what people have said in the chat as well regarding this, and then we're going to talk about the graphics of this game, because this has been one of the biggest points of the whole damn game so far. It's been such a huge topic, it's ridiculous. The communication was great regarding Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah, it really was. I have a lot of faith, by the way, in Avalanche, doing a Hogwarts Legacy 2 and communicating really well with that. They've done a great job so far. They've proven they can actually handle the IP really well. So yes, I think they'll be good at that. The biggest issue to me was that they were silent for weeks and people were complaining daily, and that isn't good for this game's publicity. No, it's not. I agree. It's not. If you get such negativity on that scale, you should address it right away. If you're going to address it, you need to address it quickly to kind of salvage it, right? If you leave it, then it's too late. But yeah, I agree with that point. They have bludgeoned it. That's a good one. I like that clue. Sounds to me like they wanted to ride off the success of Hogwarts Legacy and so rushed the roll out of this game, which is why there has not been great marketing. Yep, indeed. To be honest, I am surprised that they gave us a roadmap. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a little bit, by the way, because myself and Connor, we've been taken by surprise today by that. We weren't expecting it. So our whole points regarding it have kind of gone out of date, but that's all right. We're still going to talk about it. And want to listen to our feedback. I thought this would never happen due to them being silent this long. Yeah, indeed. They probably thought that because it's a HP game that they didn't need to focus that much on the marketing. I mean, you could say that about any game. You could probably say that about COD. But again, I would still argue, you got to get your marketing right. It doesn't matter how big you are. You got to get your marketing right or else it's going to go wrong. Never seen one advert or anything for this game at all anywhere ever. It's like a ghost. See, when you have people saying this is not a good look and this is not a good sign. This is a serious problem and an issue and it shouldn't be like this. I've just got to reiterate this here. This is a Quidditch game. People have been begging for a Quidditch game for years with online. It's here. This is the moment where you capitalize on people that have been waiting for this and begging for it for so long. And you don't do that. It really isn't a good look. It just isn't. Oh, no, man.
And on that point, it's like with Hogwarts Legacy, when you're on YouTube, you can watch a single YouTube video without a 30-second advert for Hogwarts Legacy popping up on your screen 2 months before the game came out. No, mind before 10 days. 10 days before the game came out, there was buses down in London with like the house colours and stuff like that. And I'm not saying, this game doesn't have the same budget. I'm not saying we need buses out with Victor Crumb's face on it, but like YouTube adverts, like 10, 15-second clips of the trailer. I've not seen any of it. And like my channel's all about Harry Potter, and so I'd be expected to have Harry Potter stuff rammed down my throat, and it's just not appearing. It's absolutely crazy. But they're just not. It's like they just don't really care. I know we might talk about it in a bit, but I don't know if it's just because this PlayStation deal where it's going to be free on PS Plus for a while. PlayStation might have paid them a good amount of money. And it's like, we've got our stuff now. Let's just we've done it. Let's go, sort of thing. I don't know, but it's just so odd. The marketing of this game, it's puzzled me.
I would argue even if they had that, it's not good enough to do that anyway, because to be honest, most PlayStation players, even if they get it for free, won't even have a bloody clue it's even coming out. So it doesn't help. It doesn't do anything for them. Oh, man. But, yeah, I mean, realistically, I remember just moving on in a minute from the marketing, but I remember when Hogwarts Legacy was first being properly, revealed in a big way. Like you said, there were buses with Hogwarts Legacy related houses, all around London. There was all manner of events coming on where people were dressing up in Hogwarts Legacy related stuff. You had so much talk going on behind the scenes regarding it. You even had, which is what really annoys me with this game actually, you had the content creators getting involved with Hogwarts Legacy, talking with the devs, which is a big deal, by the way, because it really shows that the devs, are trying to build a game for the gamers and actually trying to listen to them, because you've got to remember that content creators usually are that gateway between the gamers and the game developer for, getting that feedback back and forth. And as a result, with Hogwarts Legacy, I think that worked out really well. All the content creators were there talking with the devs, and they were literally sitting on a sofa as well, playing the game and everything. What's this one done? I haven't seen a single content creator even speak to the devs. I haven't even seen the devs speak to anyone. I haven't even seen a dev's face. So it's
No,
it's
all I've
silly.
seen. So I got one comment from a designer who made the stadiums called Paul Gwing. So I spoke to him in through YouTube comments, and yeah, that's the only person I actually know who's worked on this game. Everyone else might not even exist. But yeah, from what I understand as well, because I do know a few of the guys who did like the Hogwarts Legacy stuff through live streaming and through talking. From what I understand, I don't think anyone's actually done anything from this game at all. Know anything, nothing. All anyone's actually been doing is these play tests. So yeah, like I say, they've not attempted. It's not gonna be like next week we'll see a load of things. Nothing's really been done at all.
I do want to say, I'm not against playtests. I think playtests are great for something like this because, of course, it's an online game as well. So I think it's definitely a good idea. I think the devs done the right thing there because at least then they've got real people playing the game and it's not just developers playing it. So that way it gives you that chance to get the feedback to really adapt the game to make sure it's good for launch. But what I am against is that you do all this, and then when it comes to actually addressing any feedback or even just slightly trying to get the whole gaming world that's interested in this game interested at all, they can't say anything. There's nothing at all. There's literally no form of communication at all from a playtester. I get it that leaks are a big deal. I get that they ruin things. That's totally understandable. And of course, you are going to have people that do this. But at the same time, not everyone is like this. Not everyone is going to do that. So I just feel like it's almost a big... It feels like a middle finger, if I'm honest, to the entire community. That's what it feels like. It just is silly. I really don't like this attitude that they're gone with this, and I hope that if they do more of this going forwards, for example, for seasons where they bring in playtesters to test out the seasons and that, they at least let these people that have done the playtests talk a little bit about it. Anything, just some kind of chat about it, because it just feels like such a I don't care about this community kind of feeling afterwards. That's all I get from it. It's just, oh well, we're making a game, let's get it out there, done. That's how it comes across, and that's not a good thing to come across like that at all. We don't want that. But I mean, Connor, do you have anything to say about that at all?
Yeah, I mean, with the spoiling thing, it's a Quidditch game. There's no story. You see some of you see 20 seconds, of gameplay on all these trailers. That's all it is really. I just feel you could easily have had an open beta by now, where have a weekend, last weekend or something. You have it on PlayStation or Xbox, Steam, wherever. Everyone can just jump on, play for a bit, just see how it's going, and it's just all open. Everyone can talk about it because it's an online sports game. Nothing's really going to be ruined by, at this point anyway. A year ago, that's fair enough. But at this point, 15 days before, the game was launched, what's the harm of having an open beta? I just think, yeah, it's so strange just to not have people talk about it. Because I could, sit here, people might not want to, but I could sit here for an hour and talk you through each position, things like that. But I'm not allowed to. I could convince someone. It's not my job, but it might allow me. It'd help them. Me speaking maybe to convince one of the guys watching, who might be on the fence not getting it, to convince them to get it. But if you don't allow me to speak, I can't I can't talk about my feelings, my thoughts. And it doesn't help anyone because I can talk day one, but everyone's playing it by then. It's probably too late. So yeah, I just don't get this sort of closed mindset of keeping it all locked up in a chamber of secrets. Like it's a sports game. It's not the ending of Hogwarts Legacy where I'd be ruining that or something like that. It's every game. It's different. There's no storyline. There's nothing. You play a bit of Quidditch. Look, we're watching now. Someone play Quidditch there. I could talk about that and tell you what's happening. I'm not spoiling it for anyone. Don't get it at all, but there we go.
I mean, the thing that I don't get about this, and I know that it's not just Unbroken that's done this. I know that Warner is definitely involved in this. Um, you know, content creators in particular who do a playtest, for example, and then talk a bit about the game afterwards, it's free marketing at the end of the day, really, for the game. It's helping you sell your product. It's kind of a vital part of today's world. Yes, in the past, this was not something you would do. Okay, this was like years ago, you wouldn't do that sort of thing at all. But, today it's just not like that anymore. It's a vital part of your marketing now in the gaming world. It really is. I mean, hell, I can't believe I'm even saying this, but take a look at Activision. With God, look at what they're doing. They've got literal zombies content creators flown out playing a freaking zombies map early, showing it early, and then giving their thoughts about it, and really, trying to communicate with the community. And this is from Activision. Of all freaking publishers. This is saying a lot. Warner needs to, in my opinion, start moving on with the times. They really need to start learning that it's time to not live in the past. They love to do this living in the past. They love their secrecy. But it's not working anymore. It's time to move forwards. I'm not saying that you should reveal the whole game. I'm not saying that content creators should all go out and play the game really early or whatever and then reveal a load of things. But I am saying that there's got to be some line drawn here, because otherwise you got what we got here, which is a game that most people don't even know exists, or if they do know it exists, they're not happy about it, which is not great. It's a problem. It is a problem. Anyway, I want to catch up on the chat quickly, and then we are going to talk about the graphics on this game. We're going to move on to that lovely subject. All right. So, if it weren't for me following HB content creators, I would not know about this game at all, which is wild for something HB related. I agree. It's an IP that's so massive, you would expect to know about it instantly. It's ridiculous that a play for this IP is known more than this game. It's not a good sign, but there we are. Okay. I saw the joke, by the way, about Lockhart's Obliviate. Which was very good. So it won't change anything. We still won't be able to speak about NDA stuff even post-release. Indeed, it's silly concepts. It really is. It's a sports game. Well said. Yep. Like, what is there to leak? There's a quaffle in it. Oh man, maybe you play with a leak. Who knows? You used a leak as a beta. Like we all know, the game is called Quidditch Champions. It's going to involve them playing Quidditch. Indeed. Probably pressure from shareholders to get the product out ASAP. Wouldn't be surprised if the dev team have pushed for more play tests but have been turned down. Maybe. Again, I still feel like there's a bit of blame here on all sides, really. I don't think it's just one select thing. I think it's all.
And just with that one, it's just so weird how the game was announced, April last year? And they announced playtest then. And we said playtest back in April last year. And then, you had 14 months of silence with this game. Why announce stuff then or have playtests, not speak for 14 months, and then just announce the game's coming out in it's just, I just think I never got that. That sort of 14 months of silence was just so odd with it. Just not being handled well.
Well, anyway, there you go. There's the marketing, and I think
there we go.
It's just one of the most important points, actually, I want I think it's incredible, but it's one of the most important points about a game, and it's been done poorly. But anyway, moving on to the next point, which is the graphics. So this is another point that I have personally seen brought up by so many people. It's unbelievable how many people have been going on about this game's graphics. It doesn't even matter about the gameplay yet. It's all about the graphics. So obviously what you got here with this game is a very cartoony look. It's very obvious from the get-go that this is trying to look a bit more like the mobile Harry Potter games that we've had over the years. Like, what are they called again? Hogwarts Mystery, isn't it? And stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's obvious to me that they're going in that sort of direction here with this. Do I think that's a good idea? No. No, I don't. I personally think it's not the right choice to go into a cartoon mode. Does it look awful? No. I think it looks okay. But there are things that just look bad here when you then compare it to something like Quidditch World Cup. I think the one thing that the devs maybe haven't considered here is that people are going to compare this to Quidditch World Cup. It's guaranteed. Because the only other thing they have to compare this game to is the only other Quidditch game that exists, which is Quidditch World Cup. And I mean, aspects of Quidditch World Cup do honestly look better graphically than this game, which is not a good sign considering Quidditch World Cup came out in 2003. You know, it's a long time ago. But there are other aspects of this game that do things well. For example, the crowds in this game, Quidditch Champions, you know, there's more life to them. There is an actual 3D crowd now. We're not looking at like Quidditch World Cup crowds, which are just flat 2D sprites with barely any life in them. But then when you look at other things, like for example, the characters themselves, they look a little odd, some of them. Not all of them, but some of them just look strange. Like Hermione's character that we saw in the trailer looks very off, in my opinion. Likewise, Ginny looks a bit strange, to be fair. She looks better than, I guess, in Half-Blood Prince, but that's not really saying much, is it? But, you know.
I mean, when have these games got Hermione right, though, to be fair?
Oh, dear. But yeah, I mean, like some of these characters, you wouldn't even recognize them. Like Cho, for example, is just about recognizable in my opinion when I saw her in the trailer. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess that's Cho. But you know, it took a few minutes to properly, you know, really get it in the head. Oh yeah. But I mean, what do you think in general about the graphics, Connor?
Yeah, I don't like the. I feel like Malfoy looks just some generic blonde person. I don't really think it looks like Malfoy. Yeah, just the characters look very simple. I will say I do like the stadiums. I mean, if you were seeing it, especially the Durmstrang, like the ice and stuff. But the stadiums looked great in 2003's Quidditch World Cup. But yeah, I'm just not a fan of the direction we've gone with it. In terms of that sort of mobile-y, cartoony style. It looks, it's all right. I don't think it'll just distract me from playing or stop me playing. But yeah, just obviously look at the screen now, like that one there with Harry. Harry just looks so simple, and yeah, Ginny does. It's just odd. I just don't know what it is about it. Some of them just don't look right. I don't know if it'll be corrected when the game does come out. But yeah, it's not going to stop me playing, but yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. I'd love to have seen your Hogwarts like style graphics, things like that. You know, like a realistic. I mean, when you play sports games now, how realistic they look is quite crazy when you play a FIFA or a Madden. I'm playing a sport of a flying broomstick, but yeah, I'd love to have seen that sort of more realistic approach. But it's what we've got, and we just got to have to live with it. Yeah, to say it ruins it or stops play, I think I've always thought that sort of opinion was really extreme. You can not be a fan, but I don't think it would stop me playing. I mean, we were joking before. It's not like we're going playing Quidditch on Harry Potter the Philosopher's Stone on PS1. That sort of graphics. You know, it's not the worst we've seen. And obviously there, like the Durmstrang, the actual settings look beautiful. I just think it's the characters that let it down. And yeah, that's probably all I've got to say really on it. I feel like saying you're not going to play it because of the graphics might be an extreme view. Because they're not terrible, they're just not 100%.
I think, to be fair, I look at it in a really big way here, which is obviously you got a comparison between Quidditch World Cup and this, sure, but I think most people, which is what I would expect, are going to compare this to Hogwarts Legacy. We just got this mind-blowing, very impressive looking game, Hogwarts Legacy, that's just come out that actually looks incredible, to be honest. And then you've got this afterwards, which is really, it is a downgrade when you look at it graphically compared to Hogwarts Legacy. So, of course, people are then going to judge it, aren't they? They're going to be like, is it worth it? It looks a lot worse than the previous game they just released. I understand why people look at things that way. Now, for me, myself, am I going to look at this and instantly go, oh, I shouldn't play it? No. I've played plenty of games that look like crap, but actually play really well and are really fun to play. It's something that you get used to over time, but I do think that this could have been done better. There's no denying it. And I do think that this idea of going very much in the mobile play style was not the right move here, because it has turned off quite a few people, to be fair. I've seen a lot of people that won't touch this because it doesn't look graphically appeasing, and that's a shame. I do think that certain environments that have been shown so far look a lot better than others. For example, I think that the Durmstrangs bit actually looks really cool. I think the lighting with the cartoon style works there. The Hogwarts kind of stadium, though, looks a bit bad. I don't know. It kind of looks bland. There's nothing that really makes it stand out in the end. It looks quite dull, bland, nothing particularly there. See, even I could go back to something like HB1 PC Quidditch, for example, which was in the Hogwarts Stadium. They had different times of day that then, of course, affected the shadows, lighting, and etc. And it still made it feel more vibrant. Even in the daytime, it still had some vibrance. Here, so far from what I've seen, the Hogwarts Stadium just has no vibrance to it. It almost looks like one colour, and that's it. There's nothing else really to it, which I hope that they change it up and address it, because some of these other stadiums do look really good. They do stand out, and I think that's a great thing. But I hope that can be actually carried across to everything, because if not, I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like some stadiums will just get ignored, because you've got to remember that this is a multiplayer game as well. So, there's going to be this whole thing of what map do I want to play. They'll probably have a voting system, I'm guessing, of what maps people want to go and play Quidditch on. If one is not very good looking, you'll probably find that most people are not going to vote for it. So then if you're playing online, you'll probably never get into certain stadiums, because, of course, no one wants to play it, which is not a good thing. What you want is you want every map to be appealing to everyone, so then everyone will play on each map. I hope that it's not going to be a voting system, because if it is, though, Jesus Christ, I can see what will happen. Everyone's just going to vote for one map forevermore. That's all you're ever going to play. But, yeah, I mean, I don't mind the graphics, but I think that it could have been better. That's my general view on it. What I did do for everyone at home, and it was very difficult for me to really do much with this, thanks to Quidditch Champions having barely any actual gameplay, like at all. It has about a few seconds of gameplay, so it was really difficult for me to put this together. But I put a small little clip of Quidditch Champions gameplay and Quidditch World Cup gameplay together. And what you can determine from this, if you like yourselves, is does the gameplay look good enough on Quidditch Champions compared to Quidditch World Cup? And does the graphics look better on Quidditch World Cup or Quidditch Champions. This will give you that opportunity. So I'm going to whack that up here now. And Connor, I know, will probably have some points to say regarding it. So go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, it's just obviously a bit behind while it pulls it up, so I've just got it up here. Yeah, like you say, I just think the lack of it. It looks fast paced for Quidditch Champions. I would say that sometimes when playing Quidditch World Cup, it could be pretty slow. When you're flying forward, there wasn't like a speed button or anything. It was just one speed. So the 3 clicks you've got here with Quidditch Champions, it does look a lot faster, a lot sort of smoother. Doing the roll, the snatching. But I mean, yeah, that's about it. And obviously, I will say, just when you go to score, I mean, I don't like that sort of flash of light. What's that about? I don't know if that's just for cutting or just what'll happen there. I don't need some big explosion when we score. I just it's going in. Like Quidditch Champions, Quidditch World Cup. It do a little sort of thing around the ring. But yeah, I'm glad you managed to find 5 seconds of gameplay that I could talk about. And again, I guess maybe just where we've got it, sort of like that border there. I do wonder if there'll be, because again, can't actually remember this, or I could never remember seeing that in playtesting, whether if there's height or you're sort of like to the ground, because if you go too close to the grass or the ground there, you get pushed back up, or if you go too high. I'm not too sure about that, so it'll be interesting to see if there's borders on all sort of like verticality levels in the game.
Yeah, by the way, everyone, it was actually very challenging to find some gameplay of Quidditch Champions to do a comparison between Quidditch World Cup. I really wanted a lengthy piece of gameplay so I could do a proper comparison between the two games, but as I had literally about, 3-4 seconds worth of actual gameplay, it was very difficult to do that because all the gameplay in the games is not really gameplay for the most part. It's just some lovely animations. But yeah, in the end, we got something here at least to look at. Now, there's something I did want to point out here regarding Quidditch World Cup, which I always liked about the game, is it gives you that star underneath your player, right? Which really indicates who you are, indicates where you are at all times. There's nothing for that I've seen so far with Quidditch Champions, and I think for online it won't be much of a problem. I'm not really looking at it from a problem in that perspective, but when playing against the bots, I don't know, I feel like it's going to be annoying because again, you could be any player. This is the problem. It might end up being that you've just passed the quaffle to a beater, and then the beater is no longer able to hold the bat in order to hit the bludger away. So then, you're just carrying the quaffle around aimlessly, praying that you don't get hit by a bludger. There's a lot of points to this, and I do also think that your point about the height as well regarding all this in play is actually a very big deal. Because again, I do like it in Quidditch when you can kind of freely go any way you want. That's what I've always loved. I don't miss the days of going through bloody rings. Those days were very bad and quite boring, to be honest. So to actually be able to freely go wherever you like, I always love. And I still think that the best free movements that we've ever had for Quidditch is definitely HP1 PC. Sure, it didn't play perfectly well, but at least you could move in any possible play space you wanted. You could go wherever you liked, and that's what I want. I want that ability to move wherever I want. I don't want to be locked in a certain path, a certain height, or going through some stupid rings. And just so you're aware, everyone, there are rings in Quidditch Champions. You'll see it in a minute, I think, or earlier you saw it in some of the gameplay stuff. They did have rings that people went through. I pray that that's not too common. I really don't want to see rings. Oh, you've
Just
broken up,
Half-Blood
Connor.
Prince. It's all on rails. No. Oh, I was just. Oh, is that any better?
Uh,
Oh,
you
am
seem
I
all
gone?
right. No, you're all
Am I
right.
still there?
You're all right.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, just to break it to you, Alex. Quidditch Champions is just Harry Potter 6. You know, it's Half-Blood Prince. It's all on rails. Sorry to say. I'm sorry to break it to you. No. Thankfully not. You're judging by this. Gone are the days where you are bound on rails, following Jing-It, and if you don't get through the ring fast enough, it's game over and you're restarting because that would be a nightmare. But yes, and again, obviously going back to Quidditch World Cup, it was all just played on sort of like one level, wasn't it? You know, you're all just back and forth, sort of like on lines in terms of how high you could go. There was no sort of verticality in that game. I got out eventually. So yeah, being able to actually go where you want, I think will be a big deal in this game. And sort of that Harry Potter Philosopher's Stone PC sort of adventure where you could just ignore the rings. It might not be well done for you, but you know you can just ignore the rings and fly around the Quidditch pitch wherever you want. I do feel that freedom of being a chaser in this game, or you know, beater, especially where you're not always bound by the quaffle, will be something that is quite fun and freeing almost when flying about.
Hmm. Yeah. No, I agree. I hope that it will be a free movement that really is a proper free movement, not this sort of half-assed, if you like, free movement. I want to see something that's really truly on form. This also goes for catching the snitch, by the way, not just for the general gameplay itself, but actually the snitch, something that I really hated about Quidditch World Cup. You're stuck on this trail that you have to follow the entire time, and you can't go any other direction, and all it is in the end is just boost a bit more, catch it. And that's all it was. It was very boring. And again, I'm going to bring up HB1 PC, because that Quidditch, you could fly any direction you wanted, right? Obviously, you're not going, if you like, directly for the snitch every time. You didn't go through all of its little trails, but you could like dive down in front of it from somewhere else, etc. Right? I just think it would be more interesting, because otherwise it's going to be really boring having two seekers right next to one another the entire time on this set trail, just constantly punching each other and stuff. Right? I want to see a bit more movement involved. Movement makes it more challenging and interesting, in my opinion. So that's what I want to see, and I hope it will be there. I really do. It needs to be there. But yeah, anyhow, I wanted to ask the chat this: what are your thoughts looking at this side by side of Quidditch Champions and Quidditch World Cup? What are your thoughts? Do you think that the gameplay looks better in one compared to the other? Do you think the graphics looks better in one compared to the other? Let's hear your thoughts. I'll tell you what, actually, Connor, while we're here, one thing that is improved massively in Quidditch Champions is the HUD. The HUD is so much smaller and just where it needs to be, rather than this insanely long bar in Quidditch World Cup even. That's just insanely all over the screen. It's horrible. So yes, I think that's good. Also, I love the comment from earlier that it does look very Disney. I mean, to be fair, Quidditch Champions does have that kind of Disney Pixar feel, doesn't it?
Yes. Or like be a Wreck-It Ralph sort of film. You know, sort of I always remember like the Disney princesses from Wreck-It Ralph 2, just having like the weird bald faces. It does give me that sort of vibe.
Mm.
So yeah, and I will say obviously just while you go back through some comments, just pull them up. When you talked about the mobile sort of look, I think that gave it sort of that vibe to people as well, where it'd be you'd have to spend a lot of money on this game in terms of in-game purchases, and it goes back to the marketing as well. That people still think this game has in-game purchases, and I have to tell people a lot of the time, no, it doesn't at all. It just hand in hand graphics make it like a mobile. People think, oh, it's one of those pay to wins, and just for marketing to make people aware it's not. It's just being a bit shoddy. just to be all over the place. You not have people know that.
The graphics point of view, actually, I will say that the character models in Quidditch World Cup are vastly superior to Quidditch Champions. Vastly. They look so much better. They really do. But there we are. Right, what other comments have we got? They are no PS1 Hagrid. Of course, PS1 Hagrid got brought up. Had to be brought up at least once. It was bound to be brought up. Yeah, so... And he's here all. The players fall out of the sky. Right. The graphics I actually think are alright. Reminds me of World Cup. It's good enough for me. Good to hear. I'm afraid most of the rest of the world doesn't seem to agree on that point. Oh dear. It honestly looks pretty identical to you. Fair enough. Looking side by side, it looks like a remaster of World Cup, and it's all right to me. I see what they are going for with the graphics, but the Fortnite style throws me off. There it is. I knew it was going to be brought up, the Fortnite style. I knew it was coming. Wonder if there would be a better way to carry over with the old style. That is a good question. Yeah, don't make it cartoony. There you go. That's probably the answer. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, they're not awful when you look at them side by side. They do look pretty good together, actually. It is interesting to look at them side by side. I think for me, though, at the end of the day, the graphics of the environment, for the most part, inside a Quidditch Champion, I think looks okay and is mostly alright. The only one I think looks a bit bad is Hogwarts. I really do think that just looks awful. But the others look alright. The characters, on the other hand, though, I 100% go for Quidditch World Cup any day of the week. Just, they look so much more reasonable, real, better overall. Now, don't get me wrong. They have certainly got some horrifying animations with their facial expressions in Quidditch World Cup sometimes, yes. But the actual models themselves just give you that more realistic, real feeling, which is what I like about them, whereas Quidditch Champions doesn't. And the models themselves in Quidditch Champions for the characters feel like a downgrade. You know, it feels like when you look at certain characters, they just don't look really that great. I mean, it almost is reminding me of going back, and Connor, and we were both talking about this earlier, actually. It kind of makes you feel like you're looking at the Deathly Hallows a little bit in the downgrade process. Let's hope the voice acting doesn't go in that direction as well. That would be very disappointing. Oh dear. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think for me, the graphics is very 50-50 so far on Quidditch Champions. I'm not 100% with it. I'm not 100% against it. I'm just right in the middle. Right in the middle, which is an odd one for me to be right in the middle with a game. That never usually happens, actually. This is the first time this has ever happened. So there you go. You've got a 50-50 for once. What is your general view, Connor? Do you prefer one to the other, or do you personally have a 50-50 again, or what do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with everything you just say in terms of the environments and things like that, and the stadiums. Spot on. Just the majority of the characters just have this sort of off. It just looks off. It's, you know, going back to some of the trailers where they're throwing it in the burrow. Harry looks like he's just being a reanimated corpse. He looks simple. Just going back to your thing of having that sort of personality and the sort of the human-like nature. You know, if you play Quidditch World Cup, you're sort of when Harry's talking at the beginning, you know, doing his little introduction. There's animation, there's sort of that humanity there. I just feel like in this game there's none of that, and they're just sort of like, yeah, they are reanimated corpses almost. They're just like puppets, and there's just something so off about them. I just can't put my finger quite on it. So yeah, completely agree with you. Where I'm happy with how environments, stadiums, atmosphere. It's just the character models, and I don't know if they'll improve upon that. So yeah, I'm 50-50 too.
I think if they gave them a lot more expressions, they probably would do all right. But again, I can't really comment on that because I've only seen like 6 seconds of gameplay, and the rest is all just done for a trailer. So for all I know, they could be really expressive in the game, but I've not seen it. I don't know. This is again poor communication from the team and just the publisher in general. This would really help if this was brought out a bit more, but there we are. I can't really comment on it. Sorry. The other thing I was going to say actually is Quidditch World Cup has these like after a certain amount of goals or whatever, right? You've got these team members going up and like punching their fists together, like yeah, we did it, we scored or whatever, right? It gives you that kind of human feeling, like you're not just looking at a bunch of bots, but actually you're looking at some kind of life. There is life there. I hope that there is something like this inside of Quidditch Champions. I don't want it to just be scored, right, let's go again, scoring it, right, let's go again. I want something there to really make it feel like there's life. I don't want it just in the crowd. I want the actual Quidditch team members to have life. I need something there. I need some kind of celebration, something. Backflip on a broom. I don't care what it is. I just need something in the game there. And so far, I haven't seen anything. So it's not a great sign. But I hope there is something there because otherwise it's going to feel so dead. There's just no life. That's like the whole thing with Quidditch, right? Is it's meant to be really energetic and there's a lot to it. I just haven't got that feeling so far. I don't know if you got the same kind of idea and feeling overall with Quidditch Champions, Connor?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, from the gameplay, I know you sort of get these emotes and things like that from pre-ordering, or if you played Hogwarts Legacy. So I don't know if these emotes will be celebrations or not. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to see PS2 Ludo Bagman jumping up and celebrating in this game. Just having that sort of break of just it's an actual sport where you've accomplished something rather than it's just you've done it, reset, go again sort of thing. Just to have that celebration and that joy will add something to it. And again, it's just something we've not seen outside. I mean, even when we've seen someone catch for sticks, it's just cut away. So we just don't know what happens when you win a game. Do you just get booted out, or is that actual sort of like celebration, almost like your Call of Duty now, or a Star Wars Battlefront 2, where at the end you have your sort of 3 people, your best people all stood up, doing like a little emote just to celebrate, even just something like that. I just don't know if any of it's going to be in the game, but it will require it again, just to add that sense of accomplishment to a sports game.
Oh, I agree. We don't need levels of like players jumping on top of other players on grass like in FIFA, but we do need something there. And so far, I've seen nothing, which is not a great sign. But who knows? That's the problem with this whole game. Actually, so far has been who knows what's going to be showing up. We have no idea because the communication in general has been so bad, honestly, for it that I can't really say that it is definitely going to be there or if it's not going to be there. It's so up in the air. It's kind of annoying, but there we are. Also, going back to the comments, I like my HP Games cartoony, by the way, just not this new style. Yeah, again, I think that there is a degree of cartooniness to HP. So, for example, if you look at the early PC games like HP 1, 2, and 3, right? They have a cartoony-like style. They still are very much on the, I guess, realistic looking style, but they do have a cartoony style to them as well. But this is kind of like the beauty of Unreal Engine, right? There's that good mix in between. And again, the lighting there as well helps immensely with that. I do agree, cartoony HP is not a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. But there's a degree of how far you go with it. And I feel like this current style, like in the mobile games and Quidditch Champions, is taking it a bit too overboard. You know, it's going too far. It needs to come backwards a little bit, stay a bit more in the middle, I think. But yeah, that's my personal view on it. But yes, I do agree that there's nothing wrong with a cartoony style if it's done in the right way. Can it be that the footage that has been released is an older build and that the game will look better at launch? Sure, that has been a case, you know, of course, for many games over the years. You know, they film all of their footage really early on and then end up releasing it and it's completely different. It's quite a common theme, right? You know, it's that sort of issue that you have really between all of these little bits and bobs between builds. Hell, I know this, but yeah, I don't know. To be fair, this could be the latest build for all I know, and that's everything about it. It could well be extremely old build. I don't know. Again, it's too hard to tell, but I am placing my bets that it's not that old of a build, to be honest. But who knows? Maybe it will change massively before launch, but we can't always say. Anyway, there you go. That was the general graphics discussion, I think, and the general viewpoint of it all. I think it's an important point to bring up because, to be brutally honest, it's quite a common thing to talk about in this game because everyone goes on about it. But yes, right. I think, obviously, if anyone's got anything more to say about the graphics in the chat and so on, then put it in the chat now, and myself and Connor will check it out. But I think, Connor, what we'll move on to next is the network side of things. So the online play. Because I, again, believe this is a very big part of what will make people buy this game. I'm sure you are also interested in the online aspect of this game more than the bot side.
Definitely.
Yeah, there it is. Already. Tell you what, I'll let you lot watch some Quidditch World Cup for a little bit in the background while we talk about the online play to keep it a little bit different. Why not? Right. Okay, so the online play. Yeah. It's, again, a difficult one because not much has been said about it at all, actually. But what we did get... correct me if I'm wrong about this, by the way, Connor, but I think it was like about, what, a month, 2 months ago, was when they came out and spoke about how the online play was going to work and the fact that you were going to play with 3 people on each team.
Yeah, so
yeah, 3 people on each team and then 2 bots.
3 bots, so yeah, 3 people, 3 bots on each team, and you would play as Keeper Chaser, Chaser Beater, or Chaser Seeker. So you would have 2 positions no matter what, and the bot would fill the other one. So you could switch between. So you would basically play as 2 people, but you switch between one of each. So yeah, you'd have 3 players on each team, 3 bots, make it 6v6.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as I saw that, I immediately thought, what are you doing? You know, I couldn't even contemplate who made that decision, to be honest, at Unbroken. I don't know who made it, but that was the stupidest decision you could have ever made for the whole game when revealing the network side of things, if I'm honest. Absolutely catastrophic. And let me tell you, every single person reacted to that in a negative way. I kid you not, I didn't see a single positive comment regarding that comments, like, about the network play. I'd also like to add it was the only real comment about the network play until this whole, like, crossplay thing that I had to ask Connor earlier because I couldn't find it anywhere due to the way they've been showing off all the marketing. But yeah, you know, I mean... why would you do this? If you're going to make a game now about Quidditch where you've got the whole team for Quidditch, of course you want to get as many people in the game at once as you can. You know, you want the whole team to be real people. You don't want bots. Where's the fun in that? Especially when the bots, I might add, are probably dumb as hell. Because they usually are, is the problem, right? You've got really quite intelligent, if you like, for the most part, usually anyway, online players that are playing Quidditch, and then you've got these bots that will probably be so useless and pathetic that they'll just let you down, like, probably 90% of the time. So in the end, it's sort of like, what's the point of even having them there? You know, you might as well not even have any of those players at all. Why bother with the bots? You might as well just leave it with just the online people only and make the team tiny. You know, I couldn't see any logic behind what they did there. But go on, Connor. I know that you have a lot of interesting things to say regarding this point. Go on.
Oh, I mean, first of all, I just never got the 6v6. I mean, Quidditch, it's 7v7. So why have we just taken out one player? Anyway, I don't know why they came to a decision on 6v6. Why they thought 7v7 was like, whoa, that can't happen. But 6v6, that's fine. And yeah, on the bot thing, it's just the sort of thing of, I mean, we're watching you play. Well, this is footage of Quidditch World Cup now, and how stupid the AI was in this game, the bots were in this game, how terrible they were. Where look, they pass, tackle, score straight away. I'm a huge like sort of FIFA player, Madden player, and the AI bots in sports games are getting stupider because the gameplay is getting more sort of complex, and people are just finding ways to score stupid goals or touchdowns. Or in this game, yeah, just having a bot on your team. Imagine how frustrating it is online gameplay having this brilliant sort of passing sequence, from keeper or through to the other side. It's landing at a bot to try and score. And they miss, you lose the game. It's just infuriating. I just don't understand why they just. I'm not against bots there. If you've not got the player base, sure, fill it with a bot. But to not allow people to at least try and play 6v6, because I don't have 6 people to play with or 5 people to play with, but a lot of people will. It's not exactly a 12v12 or a 24-24 sort of big sort of game mode like on a Call of Duty. 6 people could easily get together and play. To limit them to 3 to start off with just seems it was such an odd choice. I think they said from like play testing, people just were quitting when they weren't the seeker and things like that, and that's fair enough. I can understand why you got the 2 sort of positions thing, but I don't think that's as a whole of a community. Not everyone does want to play seeker. Some people will play keeper or beater just to play them positions, and yeah, I just found it such an odd decision just to shove bots in online gameplay. I mean, it's online gameplay. It should be online people. It just made no sense at all to me. When I play things like Pro Clubs on FIFA, I know how terrible bots and AI are. If you're playing a game with AI online and there's 2 smart humans who go and try and tackle this AI, it's going to be so easy for them. And yeah, the more AI you have on the team, the greater of disadvantage you're going to be. So I just never got it. So that announcement last night was like, yes, it's a step in the right direction, but it might be too late because to give it a month and this 3v3 online with AI might just ruin the game.
Yeah, we'll bring up that roadmap in a few minutes, by the way, guys, regarding what they actually said regarding this, because it is actually a really significant point and very vital, actually, for this game's life. But yeah, I mean, when I originally heard them say what they were saying with the AI, again, like your point that you brought up earlier, if you don't have enough players to fill a lobby, of course this is vital, for the future, sure. Because, games eventually get old, right? And people don't play them online as much anymore. So, of course, if you need a full lobby to be able to play, then, yeah, you want something along the lines of some bots to fill in that gap. That's great. I'm not against that. But they shouldn't be there by default when you could have people there filling in the positions. It's just, there's no logic to it. But the thing that I always thought, as soon as I saw that announcement, was, well, I mean, if we look at the keepers, right, on Quidditch World Cup. They're dumb as hell. They're so freaking dumb, it's unreal. Imagine if you had a keeper AI on Quidditch Champions to save all of the goals and it couldn't even remotely figure out where to go. Imagine it being the same situation, right? You're just going to lose because all the actual real life actual human players are going to completely overwhelm a dumbass AI. It's guaranteed. It's silly. It made no sense. Anyway, I will show you this roadmap in a moment after we talk about something else, but they did say that they now will have 6v6, but they're all online players, so real humans, not AI, now being added to the game. The bit that concerns me is the fact that it's not coming at launch. It will not be there at the launch of the game. This is not good. I get that obviously we're getting quite close to the game's launch, but this should be there very quickly after launch, in my opinion. You shouldn't be delaying it for a roadmap freaking content update. You should just get that out as soon as possible, because it is, in my view, a make or break for this game. People are going to get pissed off with AI, and people are just going to leave the game if you don't get this in quickly. It's going to happen, because I've seen enough of this over the years in gaming with these different AI problems and that unfortunately people don't stick around. The whole expression of first impressions mean everything. It really applies, truthfully, to gaming all the time. If your first impressions are bad, it's not a good thing, and people go. It really is something that you have to get right. And yes, sure, you can have these games that come out of nowhere and turn everything around, like Star Wars Battlefront 2 from EA, for example, that had the worst launch in gaming history, and actually managed to turn it around and do something incredible. And I give serious props to the dev team, by the way, at DICE, who managed to actually achieve that, because that was quite something to actually revive a dead game in such a big way. But then EA obviously killed it again, being EA, right when it was eventually becoming good. But that's what we expect from EA. But anyway, the point is, I can't see that happening here. I don't think it would happen here. I can't see them just being able to revive something so quickly. You've got to remember that the dev team here is a lot smaller than somebody like DICE as well. So it's got to be done well. I think if Unbroken is listening to the community and listening to, for example, what I'm saying here, you should put your priorities now entirely on getting that 6v6 in the game as soon as possible. I get that obviously new stadiums, new characters, new customizable items, and that is all good, and that's great, and of course we all want it, but we need that 6v6 in the game on launch, because it's going to hurt the player base if we don't do it. So please, I know you got it on the roadmap, but move it forwards if at all possible. It would be really, really helpful. And it would do so many wondrous things for the game, I promise. Anyway, that's my general view on it. I want to quickly just see what people are saying in the chat. And also, by the way, chat, if you have anything to say regarding the network play of the game, or certain features that you want to see from online, etc., write it down now. Write it down. So the best way I can probably compare the art style aesthetic in early HP games is probably to 3D GTAs. They have an almost animated art style that's semi-realistic. True. Yeah, regarding the graphics point, that is true. And then the definitive edition came along. But yeah. But yes. Why is it 6v6 in development instead of 7v7? Too much on servers? I mean, to be honest with you, it probably is to do with server space or capacity at the end of the day, I'm sure. There could be more to it than that, though. I don't know, to be fair. I really don't know. There's probably a particular reason behind it, I'm sure. But anyway, yeah, it should be 7v7. It should. Connor mentioned it earlier as well. That's what it should be. Because it is that. But oh well. We'll just live with it. It's fine. Someone say Quidditch. Yeah, damn right we say Quidditch. I saw the devs said something about a majority of people wanted to play Chaser. Doesn't really surprise me. I mean, it is one of the most interesting players in Quidditch, in all fairness. Unsure about real players. Some could be worse than bots. I mean, true, but let's be honest, not too many are like that. It's very rare that we get extremely awful bots, extremely awful players, in fact, like real players. Server browser, yeah, that's a big one actually. I wanted to mention this and I forgot about it, and I'm going to mention it now. Server browsers, dedicated servers, private matches. Again, nothing has been said about this in any capacity at all. I have no idea if it's going to be a thing, but it should be. We should, at the very least, have a private match design inside of this game. You should be able to have a private match where you could invite all your friends into that private match and just play with your friends and not even have to play online with all these random people, right? That should be there. I pray to God it is there. If it's not there, then for the love of Christ, get it in the game as quickly as possible, please. But, you know, I think if they're sensible, they would have put that in at least. A server browser, again, that would have been a great idea. Will it be there? Don't know. Probably not. Dedicated servers, again, for something like PC in particular. Yeah, that would be great. Will it be there? No idea. I pray it is. I really do. I want it there. I really do. But it's down to the devs at the end of the day. But as they give such little information regarding this game overall, I can't say. I really can't say. I don't think even Connor could tell you. See, there you go. He has no idea. Oh dear. That piece of garbage known as the definitive edition. The one that people call the defective edition, yes. Oh, I do love that name. Depends on the game. In many multiplayer games, teams are always unbalanced / one-sided. Never underestimate someone's mum bothering them when they play / are playing one-handed while eating, etc. This is very true. It's very true. But at the same time, I tend to not find that too common, I will be honest. But yes, although I guess if you're talking about old day multiplayer, like really old CODs, yeah, you get used to like the whole hearing you know, parents in the background having a go at their kid or something. That was quite a common theme back in the days. Oh man, you could have some crazy things being said on those chats. Jeez.
Modern Warfare 2. I used to love just being in the chat there. Just you'd hear the wildest things, the absolute wildest of accusations and names. Oh. They were the times.
Yeah, it was certainly a different time period, and I think there's a very good reason why they did away with all of that. Some of the things you heard were certainly
not allowed to be heard.
No, they shouldn't be heard. Some of them definitely shouldn't. Oh man, and then you've got things like the emblem editor in Black Ops 2, which was abused to all hell and back, and people keep saying, "Bring it back." I'm like,
yeah. No. Do you know what people used to make? Just search up on YouTube. I used to spend hours watching videos on how. I mean, it started off with how to do like South Park characters, and then you'd be looking at some person doing something very stupid and horrible with emblems.
I mean, the funny thing, I guess, is that there was no filter that the devs built into the emblem editor, which surprises me that they didn't even think about this. They not think when they made this, oh yeah, maybe someone might draw something completely inappropriate or extreme in the emblem editor. Nah, probably not. And it's just like everywhere.
Something that could easily be, something that could easily be done with 4 lines. It's just like, come on, guys, did you really not think that one through?
I remember just some of the things you would see in that emblem editor on Black Ops 2 were absolutely wild. Absolutely. I couldn't quite believe it. So, yes, I can understand why they don't do it anymore. Would they do an emblem editor in Quidditch Champions? No, I don't think so. Before we go any further, no, I don't think that's going to happen. If it happens, I'll be amazed, and I hope that they put at least some kind of sensible protection on it if they did it, and we don't see some rather unfortunate things being made. But yeah, anyway, there you go. There's the little side bit. 9 days to go. Indeed, there is only 9 days to go, and there's still not enough marketing being done regarding important points. But there we are. Anyway, another thing that would be good is a game social feature like clan/community. Yes, so you could have your own, well, yeah, effectively clan, all together. Yeah, that would be good, because then you could effectively get all the awesome people that you know in your life or have met online all together in your little community and call it like the awesome Quidditch team or something. I don't know, I'm just making it up on the spot, but you get the idea. It's something that I think would definitely be quite good. Again, don't know if that would be there. Not a clue. Probably not. But if it is, good stuff. If it's not, put it in. That's all I have to say. Put it in. But yes, that is becoming quite a common theme now on modern day games, actually. Like, again, all the CODs now have that, where you can have your own little clan community together. So yeah, something I would hope would be here. I hope. Along with in-game chat if possible. Ooh, I don't know about that. I know people are really big fans of that. I think those days should be put behind us a bit, but it depends. I suppose if there's a sensible filter to it, sure. But yeah, there needs to be a sensible filter, or otherwise it's going to be a bit out of control. That's all I can say. Love the word clan. Well, there you go. What a save. What a save. Yeah, pretty much. Welcome to Quidditch World Cup's amazing AI, by the way. I hope that the AI is not this dumb inside of Quidditch Champions. In-game trash talking is great motivation. Maybe. Given how sensitive people are these days, though, I'm not sure how well that would go down, would it? People are a lot more sensitive these days than they used to be when we were younger. When we were younger, we used to take it like champs. It's not like that anymore. Oh, man, how times have changed. Oh, dear. Yeah, so those are the network things in particular. Is there anything else in particular you've got network-wise you want to bring up, Connor, or think should be added?
I mean, obviously, we touched on the sort of like ranked mode earlier. Again, I don't think it will be in that game. It goes to that sort of like having your own team or your own club. I'd love to see it. I just not something we're gonna have, unfortunately, which I'd like to see. But like I say, maybe with the 6v6, it is something we see like a new ranked game mode in like a season 2, or something like that. But yeah, I think that's the only thing I'd love to really see with the online mode. But I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I think the other thing that I want to see in an online mode with this is how quickly you get into your next game. Is there going to be a huge long wait that happens in between matches? I mean, like, for example, Titanfall actually is a great example of this. So Titanfall 1, when you played a match, it went on for so long, and then afterwards it would end the game but keep everyone in the lobby, but then it would have a ridiculously long countdown before then going into the next game. Are we going to have that again here in Quidditch Champions, or is it going to be, just quickly straight into the next game, right? Because what I like is to go quickly into the next game. I don't particularly have love of sitting in a menu forevermore, waiting constantly for the next match. I don't want to be sitting in a menu going, right, well, I might as well go for a pee or just go and make a freaking tea and then come back by the time you can get into the next match. I want it to keep moving. Obviously, if you need to go for a pee or something, then quit out of the match, at the end or whatever, and then go to the main menu, go for your pee, then come back and go and find another game. It's simple. That's the way it should be. I don't know if they've done it so it's just going straight into the next match or not. I'm sure Connor has some idea, but I don't know what he wants to say regarding it. Let's see what he has to say.
Yeah, not something I can say. Again, it's not something I can actually remember, which is quite bad. But yeah, I'm one of those where, hopefully, I mean, at the start as well, considering you're only looking for 5 other human players, it shouldn't be taking too long. And we confirmed there is cross-play. So you got to have PC, Xbox, and PlayStation all searching for games together. You shouldn't be waiting too long. And one of those where, I can say this because they showed it. You pick your position before going into it, so you choose as well. So it's not a fact where you all get together, then you choose your position, and then someone quits because they can't be. You choose keeper. They will try and find you a game where you can fit as keeper. So it probably will save a bit of time there, hopefully. But I'm the same where don't leave me hanging for 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, even when playing Call of Duty, you get into your lobby, you're voting for the map. It can take a while sometimes just getting to that next game, and it can be a bit annoying sometimes just sitting there, waiting, voting before you're into a match. It can be 2 or 3 minutes.
As nice as it is to look at a lovely menu screen, it's much better to actually be playing the product that you bought, in my eyes. But there we are. That's just how I look at it. Right, the last points then from the chat regarding the networking, and then we're going to move on to some more, I guess, positive and exciting things regarding Quidditch Champions. We're kind of going out of the more negative points and moving on to the real positive stuff now, which I know Connor will be excited by. You can't say or do anything now. That's probably what phased out text and voice chats, definitely. Clan feature at least, would be good. Server side, I would like to see server tools where community tournaments with custom settings can be set up. Yeah, that would be good. That would be good. Will it exist? Don't know. But if it does, that would be awesome. I hope it does. That would be nice. Well, to be honest, if there's no cart hire and car seer, it automatically loses 3 to 5 points. Oh, yeah, if Quidditch Champions doesn't have car tire or car seer, I mean, what are we doing with our lives, people? In case you're out of the loop, Connor, in Quidditch World Cup, in the Spanish team, there is a guy called Cartaya and Garcia, and they're spelt obviously differently, but just the names themselves are kind of hilarious. If they're not in this game coming up, then I will be very sad. They are fantastic players. Oh dear, community facing features is what gives longevity to the multiplayer games. Yes, indeed. Maybe they don't want longevity. But yes, indeed. Anyhow, right. Is this game going to be region locked? I don't see why it would be. I'd be very shocked if they did that. That would be one of the most stupid moves ever. I don't think it would be region locked. Nah, can't see that. Can't see it. Anyway, right. This is something I want to bring up quickly on the screen for everyone right now because this is important. And this is the roadmap. Let me zoom out one. There we go. Right, we're moving on from the network play bit kind of now, and we're going to look at the roadmap. Okay, so first things first. This came out last night when neither myself or Connor were even aware of it or awake or had any idea that it was a thing. So we both had notes regarding why there should be a roadmap and so on. And of course, now there is one. But anyway, so all those notes that we had have now just been thrown in the bin. But that's fine. We've got other notes regarding the roadmap here. And yeah, so first things first. Well done, devs, for getting a roadmap out the door. Thank God you've done that, because at the very least it shows that you're already thinking about post-launch content in preparation for this game, which is really important. With a game like this, it's what I'm going to say is a bit like Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. You know, the game is a big deal. It comes out. It needs some good life to it going further down with content updates in the seasons. And in my opinion, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled was a fantastic example of a game that did a really good job at doing post-launch content and seasons. Obviously, Activision cut it short, sadly, yes, but the point is they did do it really well, and they communicated it well, and they showed it nice and early, and really just got people excited for it. So that's what you need here with this game. You need that same sort of thing. You need some excitement build up for your post-launch content, your roadmaps. We need stuff here. So I'm praying that will continue all the way through, because if it doesn't, that's not good. So I hope that they will do it, and it seems, given they've just revealed this roadmap here, that we're going in the right direction and we might actually be getting something. So hopefully we will be getting roadmaps each month going forwards. Anyway, we're going to quickly look at the roadmap here and talk about it from what they've revealed so far. So this is what's coming out after the launch of the game, by the way, in 2024. So basically during, I guess maybe a bit of September, October, November and December. So this is what we've got. We've got Season 0, which is Quidditch tryouts. Then September, we've got Hogwarts Legacy themed event. Interested to see what that will entail. October, Halloween event. Good. Winter 2024. So again, that could well be both November and December, but I don't know how they're splitting this up. They haven't really kind of given that an obvious, well, I guess, showcase. Anyway, Season 1, Defense Against the Dark Arts. Then we got Holidays at Hogwarts event, and then Yule Ball event. So that's the stuff coming throughout the actual rest of the year. Then over to the right, we've got in development for 2024, which is Nintendo Switch, so you know, the game for the Switch, and also the 6v6 player versus player, which we were talking about earlier. This is my one concern about this roadmap. They have listened to the people regarding the 6v6 player bit, but all they've got is in development for 2024. That's not great. That needs to go somewhere. I really mean that. That needs to go in a month. Anything. So I hope that changes soon, because that could mean any time in 2024. I mean, you were talking about this earlier, Connor, regarding this, 6v6 player versus player bit being just on the right there in the in development for 2024 bit, and the fact that there is no clear indication of when that's coming. I mean, how do you feel about this, seeing it here on the roadmap now that it is coming and it's just kind of not obvious when it's coming?
So, excited where it is coming. Like I say, obviously we're very happy people did listen to people and people's frustrations. But yeah, having it there, December, it could be December 31st. That's 2024. And like I keep saying, that could be too late for its online mode, where people have been sick of 3v3 with the bots. People aren't coming back to your game because you've announced 6v6 3 months too late. it needs to probably be around October. You need it within that first month to at least have majority of your player base there to experience it. You leave it any later, it might be too late and people are already gone, and your time putting into this 6v6 it's been wasted because it's just going to be 3v3 anyway because you've not got a big enough player base. So yeah, it needs to be put in that October, October sort of space with a Halloween event there for it to stand a chance, I think.
I mean, I would argue, like I said, you should get it out as quickly as possible, to be honest. For me, that should be out near mid to end September, early October at the latest. That's where it needs to be, quite frankly, in my opinion. Because again, people don't wait around long. The attention span of this sort of stuff is very, very small. So, yeah, you need to get it out quickly. I'm glad that they did announce it here in this roadmap. I'm glad that they finally addressed it and listened to the feedback. What I'm not so glad about is the fact that they haven't given it an actual spot. They've just made it so up in the air. So I'm praying that they're going to rectify that and get it in a proper spot on the roadmap. But anyway, that's my main issue with the roadmap, if you like. That's my only main issue. The rest of it, I'm quite happy with. And we're going to talk about the rest of it right now, which is the really cool stuff. So, Quidditch tryouts bit for Season 0. To be fair, awesome. It's nice that it's in there. I mean, it's nothing groundbreaking in my opinion, but at least it's there. And I think it will be cool to actually have that as a part of your Quidditch game when it wasn't really a big deal or something that you ever saw within any of the other HP related games, right? So yeah, what do you think about the tryout bit, Connor?
Yeah, again, obviously, is it like a main season? You'll probably have a lot of characters like Fred, George, Harry, Ginny, or that sort of just core Quidditch team as you unlockables, things like that. It makes sense to obviously have it September, in they go back to school first, second week of September. You're trying out for Quidditch, so it definitely makes sense. And obviously, launch of a game, I feel it makes sense to have it there where you're learning your trade for the game. So I'm guessing it'll have a lot of that sort of the unlockables will relate to that. So that first little beginning, you learning stuff. So yeah, again, compared to Defense Against Dark Arts, which we'll get on, it's probably nothing flashy there or anything like that, and your main sort of thing will be this Hogwarts Legacy themed event will take over it, and like you, I'm interested to see what that'll entail because obviously if you played Hogwarts Legacy already, you go get a Sebastian Sallow skin, his wand, a broom skin, and like the ancient magic emblem. Well, so I wonder what else the Hogwarts Legacy stuff will have, which will build on the Quidditch tryouts.
Yeah, I mean, the Quidditch tryouts bit I just see as a little bit of fun, additional content that's there just for people to have a quick, I guess, jump on and have a good time. But then when you get to September's Hogwarts Legacy themed event, I would love to see what they're going to do with Hogwarts Legacy because, to be fair, there's some interesting things they could do. Is it just going to be entirely cosmetic, or is there going to be a bit more to it? Are they going to maybe have a stadium that has a Hogwarts Legacy theme to it? I don't think that's a bad idea. I think that's a great idea to have a unique stadium that is very much Hogwarts Legacy themed. I think that would be fantastic. Likewise, bringing over some of the characters from Hogwarts Legacy into this game as playable characters. Obviously, you mentioned the Sebastian cosmetic stuff that we're getting, but could we actually see Sebastian himself, playable inside of the game? And some of the other characters as well from Hogwarts Legacy being playable. I think that would be a fantastic thing to do, and it would definitely give this nice little mix between the two games at the end of the day. So there's a lot that they could do with the Hogwarts Legacy themed event in my eye. I hope that they take advantage of that and make it really worthwhile. What I also hope they do with these different bits that are coming out, of course, each month, They need to spread them out. I don't want all the content really to just be dumped in one day and that's that. I want to see it spread out throughout the month. That way it's keeping something new constantly coming throughout the months, keeping people there, keeping people excited. The problem is if you just release it all out at once, people are going to play it for like a week and then they'll go, we really need to see it released slowly and steadily over that month period. So I hope that they're going to do that here. That's my main point regarding post-launch content. I want to see it spread out and not all dumped at once. Because if it's all dumped at once, I have a horrible feeling of what's going to come. But we'll see. Anyway, that's the Hogwarts Legacy one. This I was going to mention, by the way, before they even put out this roadmap, because I didn't know this was coming out, is I hope that the game has seasoned events. So Halloween, Christmas, Easter, stuff like that. I was hopeful they would do it. And of course now they've confirmed it. So my points are all in the bin. But anyway, the point is they have confirmed that there are going to be season events, which is awesome. I am so happy to see that. And we got a Halloween event coming in October. So that's great. It'll be interesting to see what they do with it. Hopefully, again, they'll have some really cool things around the pitches, like maybe even a haunted maze at the bottom of the Quidditch pitch or some floating pumpkins around the place. There's all sorts of things that they could do with Halloween again. I'm hopeful that they really take advantage of it. The other thing that they could do with Halloween, to be fair, is bring in some more of the, haunting aspects of Harry Potter, such as the Inferi. We could see some Inferi walking around on the pitch, for example. I think that would be really cool. It would be something different. And hell, if you fly low enough, maybe the Inferi could actually attack the player. Again, it gives you that obstacle that you need to avoid while playing Quidditch. So, I'll be interested to see what they do. But what do you think about the Halloween event, Connor?
Yeah, again, like similar to yourself, I was hoping they'd have seasonal events. With the Halloween one, they could easily tie it in almost like a prelude to the Defense Against Dark Arts season. They sort of go hand in hand, I feel, sort of having your sort of darker stuff. And yeah, like you said, either like a Death Day party stage in your taking from Chamber of Secrets with the Headless Snake, where there's loads of ghosts. It's just, yeah, with each seasonal event, and we'll come off to like the Christmas and the Yule Ball one, I just think there's so many things, especially with Harry Potter, around Christmas and Halloween. You've got so much you can do with them and play with. The sort of ideas are endless. You're having Dementors flood onto the pitch. You've got to avoid them. Just things like that. There's so many little things you can have, which I think would be so fun to do. I mean, even like obviously like a mountain troll. All the stuff that happened on Harry's third year, you can sort of just implement. It's in Harry's sort of school year. Sorry, you can just have implemented into it. I think it just, the sort of ideas are endless when it comes to it.
I agree. And yeah, I think it would be actually really cool to have the Dementors inside of Quidditch in some shape or form that actually are there as an obstacle to you. Because, of course, you can't say that we haven't had Dementors involved in Quidditch in the past, because we have. Look at HP3. It's there. Sure, they might have been 2D Dementors flying in on the screen on the PC port, but, they were there. It's something that I think could be involved here and could be interesting. I would like to see it. There's so much, actually, to the HP world, really, that they could bring into this game, and I hope that they utilize it. So yeah, the Halloween event I think could be great, and it could be a great lead up with things like the Death Eaters. We could have some Death Eaters involved here. I think that, again, they're creepy, right? That's the whole purpose of them. They're meant to be horrifying evil people. Why not bring them in? We could have some evil teams that do evil things. Likewise, we could have some cool cosmetics regarding the actual Quidditch items, like the Snitch, or the Quaffle, or the Bludgers, right? Why not? Do something fun. Then with Season 1, of course, we've got the Defense Against Dark Arts. We kind of spoke a little bit about it. We sort of said that we feel that the Halloween event will lead into Defense Against Dark Arts, and I feel like it probably will. What else will they do with Defense Against the Dark Arts is a good question. Again, I would love it if we saw some familiar faces related to the Dark Arts here, like, I don't know, Gilderoy Lockhart, for example. given that Gilderoy Lockhart does fly a broom. Why not? He's an idiot, but at least he would be a funny idiot to have in the game, right? You could even have Mad Eye Moody. Mad Eye Moody again flies a broom. It would be something unique.
And yeah, it'd be interesting to see in his sort of like how he flies it in the film, where he's got his little backresting things. It adds, just something a bit different into the animations. And yeah, I'd love to hear when Gilderoy Lockhart scores like fabulous, just like me, his PS1 sort of catchphrases and things, very stylish, all them. But yeah, seeing all the defence Dark Arts teachers Snape. I mean, even Umbridge. Imagine Umbridge in Biscuit playing as Umbridge in this game, or hitting her with a bludger. Both would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a lot they can do with that one, so we'll see. But I hope they do something with the teachers there. That would be fantastic. It really would. Holidays at Hogwarts event. This is the sort of thing I expect with some snow, Christmas trees, stuff like that. That's the sort of thing we already expect. Yule Ball event. Yeah, I kind of saw that one coming, to be honest. Given the Triwizard Tournament stuff that they've shown off, I saw the Yule Ball getting involved. Yeah, you could have people flying around in their dressing, their dance dress. That would be certainly something. But no, I mean, again, there's lots of good stuff here on this roadmap already. I'm actually happy to see it, and I want to talk about other things that they could do later on down the line with the roadmap, and I know Connor does as well. There's lots more that's not here that could show up. There's so much, actually. I would even love to see them do a Lego themed event. That would be quite fun. It would be silly, some kind of stupid silly event, right? Why not? There's stuff they could do with that. I mean, there's so many different themes as well. Again, something that they should do, and I hope they will. I don't think it's there at launch. I could be wrong, but I don't think it is changing the theme of the day, within your Quidditch match. Changing it at will. From day to night, to dusk to dawn, rain, snow, etc. I hope that comes later on in the seasons, if it's not there at launch. So we'll see. I don't know what they're going to do, but we'll see. What are some of the things you would like to see, Connor?
I mean, yeah, there's just lots, isn't there? I mean, like what was mentioned. I mean, we mentioned the Dementor things. Obviously, it goes into high IQ warriors, whereas like having these community tournaments on a weekend. So that Halloween event, you have a specific game mode where the Dementors are there. Yeah, they are an obstacle. You've got to get past them. So just things like that throughout each one. So at Christmas, having a fun like snowball sort of like mini game, just to keep freshening it up, just to change it from playing Quidditch, just to having these fun different games. So having like for each season, almost having like a unique mini game for that season. I'm not sure what maybe you have the mental run through Defense Against Dark Arts one, and then you have your Order of the Phoenix, you just sort of members at Death Eater one. You used to go through different sort of things in Harry Potter, and have that sort of align with what time of the year it is. You try and get it to next year, back to school in September. And if you get to that year, I think they've done well. But yeah, it just be having fun, unique games, keep it fresh, so you're not just always playing the same sort of style of Quidditch every season just to unlock a different character. I think that'd be what I'd be looking for.
Another thing that actually I didn't mention yet, which I love to see them do, and I hope they will do it, is a ghost-themed event. So I would be so down to see each team being ghosts, or a human team against a ghost team. You can't say that we can't do that, because in Quidditch World Cup we had a ghost that we had to go and tackle in order to score, and stuff and practicing. It would be a great idea to do here, and you can make the Quidditch Stadium look terrifyingly creepy, etc. Yeah, there's so many things actually that are on the horizon that you could do with this. I hope that they do take advantage of this and they don't just focus on the movies, I might add. I would like them to focus on the books as well. You know, there's plenty of stuff that they can take from the books and actually bring to life. I know they've already done that a bit with some of the stadiums that have been included from like the Triwizard Cup bit. But, you know, I really want to see them actually take a good look at the books and really make the most of it. Actually, it would be great. And I'd like to see their creative side. You know, the devs should show their creative side. They should show that they're not afraid to come up with their own ideas for the game, their own unique environments within reason and so on, of course. But yes, again, you could do these sort of things. One thing I did want to confirm here, actually, for everyone, because we do know about this, thanks to the very interestingly way it's been hidden in the marketing, but you can actually play a mode. I can't remember if it's called this or not. I might have got this name wrong. It's called like Expedition or something like that. But anyway, basically it's where you can effectively play any team you want against any team in any environment, etc. The idea is you could have, for example, Gryffindor against France and so on. It's just, you know, allowing you to be as creative as you like. That full on even creative freedom. And so you've got all of that available to you straight away at launch. And I love the fact that that's there. So thank you, Unbroken, for actually putting that there on launch. That's a fantastic feature. I'm really glad that that's there. And it does seem like most of the teams that you would expect from Quidditch World Cup are there. I don't know if they're all there, but it looks like most of them are there. Hopefully they've got Ireland this time as well, unlike Quidditch World Cup, which still amazes me they forgot that one. But there we are. Anyway, yeah, the only other thing I kind of want to mention here, although it's not really in the roadmap, I guess, to an extent, is the Triwizard Tournament related stuff. So we have actually got a Triwizard Tournament, basically Quidditch theme, if you like, coming into the game, and it's a cup that you win by doing the Quidditch on the different Triwizard Tournament pitches. You saw some of it in the trailer. I'll play the trailer again in a bit so you can see them once again. But yeah, you know, there's an actual cup event actually completely around the Triwizard Tournament. I think that's fantastic that they've taken that opportunity and put it in. I would quite like to see some kind of elements of the Triwizard Tournament more present though in there. You know, it's great having like the main schools from the Triwizard Tournament involved there and their main, I guess, school areas and pitches, but it'd be nice to see some aspects of the actual Triwizard Tournament put into those pitches somehow. But, you know, that's my general view on it. So I will just let Connor quickly develop on the Triwizard Tournament bit, and then I will read some of the chat.
Yeah, it's part of the career mode. So after you play at Hogwarts, you go into the Triwizard Cup. Again, obviously, building off yours, I'd love to have seen more of the other schools, you know, like Ilvermorny in America or Ouagadougou, you know, Africa, or the Brazilian, Japanese. I'd like to see more of them schools. Maybe you come into like a inter-school tournament, but it's fun. Yeah, I agree with you. Having some elements of the Triwizard Tournament make it a bit more dangerous. But once you play Bobaton and Durmstrang, once you win that, you move on to the World Cup, where hopefully, yes, you do get to play as Ireland this time if you'd like. Because I still don't know why they were not in the game at all in Quidditch World Cup. It boggles my mind. And hopefully you can play Bulgaria from the off if you like, instead of having to win the World Cup first and then hoping you play it again just because you can play as Bulgaria. Because I've still never played this one, because I've never played through a second time.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you know, at the end of the day, we can only hope that they do add in a lot of cool content, and hopefully we're going to get that. What I will say, though, is at least they have gone in the right direction here, and it's very pleasing to see that there is already a roadmap before the launch. It's very pleasing to see that this is already planned out here. Fantastic stuff. Keep it up. Keep it going. Keep that flow going. That's what we need to see. Anyway, that was the roadmap stuff. I will leave you again with some, I guess, Quidditch World Cup quickly, while I read some of the chat comments. So, let's read some of the chat comments. God, I'm struggling to speak now. It's kicking in. Right. Graphics is is perfect for the Switch. Yeah. And to be fair, the Switch is not particularly demanding. That's for sure. Here's a solution to the issue where people wanted to play Chaser mostly. Free Chasers. Yeah, definitely. If it's winter, it could last till March 2025. Death Eater team, yeah, like we mentioned, as a bonus would be fun. Yeah, I agree. I think it would be awesome to see a Death Eater team. It'd be awesome to see Voldemort in the game as well in some shape or form. I'd love to have him fly in, trying to catch the snitch, going, "Mine!" His famous quote.
Yeah, without a broomstick as well. Again, just more
Superman.
awful animation. She's flying around with his black smoke. Yeah, very slowly as he does in the film, though.
Yes. Then they better include Ireland this time round. Yeah, they should. I hope they have. It would be very silly if they've forgotten it again. But yeah, anyway, we'll see. Also, hello Lego. Sorry we missed your comment earlier. I'm doing great, and I know Connor's doing great. There you go. Right. I think, to be fair, that's probably everything we needed to catch up on. Cool. Right. So, let's think about this. What to dive into next in particular? Yes, actually. No, this is a big one. Customization. Yeah. Customization. This is something that a lot of people seem to really have a big fond thing over, is customization in video games these days, and a lot of people really like this inside of Hogwarts Legacy. I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was groundbreaking, but, you know, it was cool for what it was, I suppose. But I pray that at least in this game, if we're going to have customization, it's not going to be like Hogwarts Legacy, where you're just littered with loads of effectively crap that you then have to go and get rid of because you don't want it filling up your inventory and so on. But, you know, I'm not certain what they're going to do with the customization in this game in that regard. But it looks like there's going to be a lot of unlockables for it, which I'm not against, if they look good and are useful. Either way, there is quite a bit of customization here. So yes, you can create your own character. You can customize the whole look of the character, quite frankly, from hairstyle to, I think, facial expressions to like the general outfits, etc. You can see it all here on the screen, to be fair. You've got a lot of customization available to you. Same with the broom. You can customize the broom quite a lot, which is something that you could not do in Hogwarts Legacy particularly. You could just change the broom to a particular different kind of broom. What I hope that they do here with the brooms in particular is allow you to customize them in a way that the trail that's left behind the broom can have some cool effect. Colors, styles like that. I would love to see that. I really would. Again, it would be nice to customize your broom in particular design, so the way that it actually looks along the whole hilt. Likewise, some of the back bit with the actual broom bit, that could look really funky. You could have one that's like partially on fire, one that's partially destroyed, or one that just looks normal, etc. You know, it would be nice to be able to customize it a lot. But yeah, customization is present here in the game. It's cool to see it. I hope it's done well, and I hope it's a step up from Hogwarts Legacy's customization, which was okay, but not the best. So, what do you have to say about customization in this game, Connor?
So I'm never a big sort of like guy who goes in, spends so many hours customizing characters. I just like playing the gameplay. Yeah, the only thing I'm concerned about here is obviously the broomstick, because it has stats. It can be affected when you change it. Everything else, yeah, it's fun, like some cool hats or a robe, things like that. But yeah, the only thing I'm really bothered about is the broomstick, how it looks, yeah, the trail, the actual stats itself. Everything else is just a fun bonus. Unlock a cool sort of like outfit or robe, glasses. But yeah, I'm more concerned with customizing my broomstick to actually upgrading it and things like that. I think that's the only one that really matters to me.
Hmm. Yeah, I think to be fair, from my perspective, anything that has stats involved with it, it it's always a kind of questionable thing, right? So the one thing that they did do from memory in Hogwarts Legacy is you could keep effectively this really cool looking item, but then keep upgrading it so that way the stats are okay and it never changes. But also, if you did dump it and you chose another one that looked like crap, for example, you could switch it so that way it changed to the one that you really liked the look of. You could customize that look on top of the really bad looking one and keep it like that, but on a really good statted version of the item. If they do that sort of thing again here, I'll have nothing against it, and that's absolutely fine. If it goes along the lines where a really cool item is really bad on stats, but then a really bad looking item is amazing on stats, but you can't change the look of that item, that's where I'm not going to be happy. So I hope it won't go down that route and everything will be fine. But at the end of the day, I feel like we'll be alright here, and we'll probably, have a reasonable customization system. It looks like it's pretty plain and barren for the most part, which is what I like to see. Any final thoughts regarding customizing, Connor?
No.
God, that was quick and easy. That was the shortest section.
Just like my customization. Yeah, just like how I spent. That's probably how long I spent customizing a character in the game.
I mean, chat, I'll open it up to you. How are you feeling about the customization system within Quidditch Champions? Do you like it? Do you think it could be better? Do you think there's more that could be done overall with the characters and customizing them? Would you like to maybe customize some of the main characters and not just your own character? So you could change the look of, I don't know, Ginny, for example, or Harry in a particular way. Give Harry a mohawk, for example. Would you like to be able to change it in that regard? The floor is open to you, chat. Let's hear what you have to say regarding customization. What do you guys want to see? Are you happy with it? Are you not happy with it? Go on, light it up. Go. This is your opportunity to make the customization thing look better and be better. While I'm here, what I will do is get that ready. There we are. Right. The other thing, Connor. Oh, we get a sideways Connor now.
Oh, what's happened there?
Upside down now. Nice. I didn't realise you were into upside down streams.
Oh. I've been watching all your Harry Potter Philosopher's Stone Chamber of Secrets ones.
Yeah, Prisoner of Azkaban and Philosopher's Stone upside down. Good God. Yeah, that wasn't particularly nice. Although the Philosopher's Stone wasn't too awful, but Prisoner of Azkaban was another scale of. Yeah, that was pretty awful. I can't say I'm particularly desperate to do that again. Oh man. Right. Tell you what, I'm going to put on this bad boy once again because, everyone wants to see the actual, I guess, trailers. Anyway, there's not too many other things to really say about Quidditch Champions from my perspective that hasn't already really been covered now. Is there any other major final points you have to say about Quidditch Champions, Connor?
No, not that I can say. But yeah, no, I think we have covered it all pretty well in terms of the limited stuff. I think that goes to show. I mean, we mainly spent a lot of the time talking about the graphics marketing, and yeah, just a just the lack of knowledge for having this game is just the most. It is very frustrating. Say we're 9 days away. I just wish we could talk about more things, but we're just not able to.
It's kind of my only thing here. Like, again, loads of people asked me actually for Hogwarts Legacy, to be fair, to do some reaction before the game came out to give my general thoughts and opinions on it. I never did it. I should have done it, to be honest. I definitely should have done it, and it would have been easy to do it for that game. Again, everyone's asked the same for me with this game, and while I can do it, there's so little out there. There really is so little that it makes it difficult to give my full honest opinions on it before the launch, because again, half of what I would like to look at and really give my opinions on, I don't know about, because it's not been told. It's so silent and bottled up that I really can't give a general consensus on that. But obviously when the game comes out, on the 3rd of September, I'll be streaming it. All of you lot that follow me know that that's going to happen, and I can give my full opinions on it then, because of course I will have access to the game and actually will be playing it and really can, say good things about it or bad things about it, depending on how I feel about the game in the end. But either way, yeah, I tried to give everything that I could regarding this game. Everything I possibly could. It's just hard to give a lot about this game with not much being told to us. But there we are. At the end of the day, I think we covered it very well. I think that all the major points have been said. I hope that Unbroken will improve upon certain areas, especially the marketing. That's the sort of thing I would like to see improvement on. I really would. We definitely need to do that, because if we don't do that, I fear we're going to be in a difficult situation going forwards, even with a good roadmap, to be honest. It's one thing writing things down on a roadmap. It's another thing actually showing content on that roadmap physically. Some kind of video, anything would do for the roadmap content going forwards would be great. So we'll see. We'll see what they do. Hopefully they will learn from the negative points and will go forwards in the right way. Obviously, the graphics wise, there's nothing you can do about that. It is what it is. At the end of the day, it's not awful, but I don't know. Maybe they could improve the character models a little bit over time. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that's really my general view on Quidditch Champions. You've got it all today in a nice big stream. And you've also got Connor's views. I know, an extra bonus. What can I say? There actually, and this is a little secret for all you out there, was potentially going to be a third person's views here today as well. That third person couldn't make it in the end, sadly, but they were potentially going to come and talk about it. Can anyone guess who that might have been? Go on, I'll open the chat for you all. Can you guess who it might have been, Connor?
I'm going to let the chat guess first before I do.
All right. Chat.
You know what, I'll let them get first.
Go on then, chat. Can you guess what other content creator might have potentially been here today? Can you guess? I wouldn't like to say. You can say. You don't have to hide away. You can say it. Also look forward to that, Alex, and no doubt you will be streaming it too, Connor. Yeah, Connor will be streaming. Of course he'll be streaming it.
I will.
Who knows? We might even meet each other in multiplayer and be fighting one another for the quaffle. It's entirely possible. We might.
About bots.
Yeah, without bots, ideally. We might even be, I don't know, actually on the same team. God, wouldn't that be dreadful? God, can't be having the same team.
It, trust me, it would be.
That was good to hear.
I'm the mum.
Oh dear.
Hi, you what I was talking about. No. But yeah, no, I've got no one's guessing, so I'm not going to guess because I want to seem stupid. I will get it wrong, so I'm not going to guess.
Jeez, you're all so boring, aren't you? That's fair enough. Well, all right, I'll review that. It was going to be Phil. Phil with Glimmer.
Oh, see, and now I feel stupid. I was going to say that, but I thought that was too obvious.
No, it was going to be Phil with Glimmer. I did ask Phil. Phil was interested in doing it. Sadly, unfortunately, Phil was busy today and is out doing things. So sadly, he couldn't make it to do this, which is a shame because it would have been a great chance to bring Phil in and get his opinions as well. And also, I guess it would be nice to see him back again. But of course, you will see him in the future. Don't worry, he is coming to do other stuff with me. But at the very least, you know, it is what it is. So you got to hear from myself and Connor regarding Quidditch Champions and our views on it. And it's pretty cool stuff. And I think people mostly agree with what we said. Now, we're not done yet. Because we actually have some other stuff to talk about. First things first, there is another Harry Potter game potentially right around the corner. Connor knows a lot about this already because he's done a video on it. And that is Lego Harry Potter Collection. That's right. So, we already know that there is a Lego Harry Potter years 1 to 4 and 5 to 7. I think they call it 5 to 7, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. For like separately, and then of course they did a remaster of those together in a collection for PlayStation 4 and also the Xbox One. Can't remember, did they do it for the Switch? I don't think they did they?
They did, yes. Yeah,
They
yeah,
did.
yeah, but you can get it for the Switch as well.
Okay, they did do it for the Switch, fair enough. But yes, so anyway, they had that. And it's recently been found, of course, on, ironically enough, the same system that the Time Splitters ports were found on recently, which I was talking about in the Time Splitters stream about them coming back and how I knew that they were going to come out at some point. So, yes, you can look at this database system with 100% guarantee that it's definitely going to happen. Anyway, yeah, so a PS5 version has shown up for the Lego Harry Potter collection, and as well the Series X and S have shown up. As far as I'm aware, there's nothing regarding a updated PC port of the version in there. Doesn't mean that there might not be a Harry Potter collection for PC this time round, but still, there is at least something for the others. Do I think it should come to PC? Yeah. To be honest, I actually do. Because the PC ports of the older ones they're good, but they do have their problems. And in the case of the first one, it does crash a lot. So yes, it would be nice if they could have the actual updated Harry Potter collection that they're bringing out now as a port for PC. I don't know if it's going to happen. I really hope that they do it. So, Warner, do it. Anyway, there you go. Hopefully they'll do it. But anyway, what is this collection all about then? Well, it's basically the same collection as you had before on the PS4 and that. The only difference is it's optimized now for the modern day consoles hardware. So you're most likely going to be seeing things like higher resolution support, 60 FPS sort of things present on them, etc. You get the idea. But yeah, you get all of that. And if you're a trophy and achievement hunter, I suppose, then you can go and do it all over again. The new ports. Now, will they be offering a free upgrade for people that own the old versions? That is a very good question. Usually, most companies offer a cheap upgrade, so something that's less than the actual full price of the game for those that already own it for the modern day hardware. Will it be free? Probably not. But at the same time, you know, it's there for people that want it. So, unless Connor has more to go on regarding this Harry Potter collection, which I know he's been digging deep in the world of the web to find out about it, then that's probably the most I have regarding it, really.
No, yeah, I think you've summed it up brilliantly there. I'm just now, my Twitter's now just full of Lego accounts that I'm recommended. I'm getting it thrown down my throat because I went down this rabbit hole trying to find stuff. I would say, yeah, the PC needs it way more than the PS5 because I feel the PS4 version plays absolutely fine. It's quite high quality. Yeah, when you try to play Years 1 to 4 on the PC, it just crashes every like half an hour or something. So I feel the PC needs it more than any of the other consoles. But yeah, obviously, weirdly enough, it has been rated 12 in like Korea. I don't know if that's normal because obviously over here it's like a 7 plus game, Peggy 7. But yeah, it's seemingly on its way, and hopefully it won't be too expensive for people on the PS5 because, as Alex says, two easy games to platinum, and I'll be doing it all over again just to get another few platinum trophies on my account.
There you go. I told you that someone was going to do it, and there he is. Yeah, no, I mean, we've had this rumor, actually, to be fair, about Lego Harry Potter coming back in some shape or form. Lots of rumors about brand new Lego Harry Potters being made. Obviously, I don't believe that, to be honest, and I think that's just wishful thinking from someone that's just wanting to get a bit of clout. But at the end of the day, there's no reason to do brand new ones of those, in my opinion, yet. I think it's way too early for that sort of thing. If anything, I'd actually say you'd be better off doing Lego Hobbit and Lego Lord of the Rings together, actually, and getting that out the door. I'm amazed that hasn't been done yet, by the way. But it's that sort of thing would definitely do a better job, I think, at the end of the day for those sort of things. But yeah, I mean, I hope that this time round, given that they know that PC is now a bigger deal and is becoming one of the main platforms for gaming, it's very high up there now, actually, that they are going to be doing this updated port for the PC as well as for the PlayStation 5 Series S and X. If they don't do that, it is a seriously wasted opportunity and also kind of a big screw you to the PC fan base. So I pray that they're not going to do that. But yeah, it is truthful that the current Lego Harry Potter collection is perfectly fine on, the PS4 and the Xbox One. They run well for the most part. Sure, they run at 30 frames, which is always a bit of a bummer. But, for the most part, they play fine. They're okay. But, yeah, it'll be nice to have the 60 frames, I guess, in the case of the consoles there. But really, I do think that the PC ports now could do with an updated version because they are pretty broken. I mean, they have their problems, especially years 1 to 4. That game does have its problems. It has a lot of bugs in it. A lot of bugs that break 100% completion. There's, crashing bugs like I mentioned. There's sound bugs. There's all sorts of issues in that game, actually. It was a very, if I'm being kind of brutally honest, half-assed PC port. And it shows. It really does show. The second one is a much better PC port, honestly. It works fairly well and doesn't have too many issues. I know it has like the odd crashing issue, but for the most part it's usually fine. But yeah, realistically, I think that this collection should come out to the PC. It could do wonders for the PC people, and believe me, PC people should be respected at all costs. They are your bread and butter for the future. So yes, do respect the PC people, Warner. You want to. Yeah, anyway, I mean, that's pretty much all I have regarding this Lego collection that's coming. I'm excited to see where it goes, excited to see how it turns out, and at the end of the day, it's great for people that haven't managed to get the Harry Potter Lego collection yet. So you now have your opportunity to go and get it and have a great time. Otherwise, that's all I have to say regarding the Lego Harry Potter collection. Remaster.
Remaster of a remaster.
That's what I have to call it, because it pretty much is that. But there we are. Right, there is actually something I wanted to mention here, which I think is a missed opportunity on Warner. And yes, Warner, this is a missed opportunity for you, and I'm amazed that you didn't take it. Obviously, we all know that licensing is a pain in the arse and causes a lot of painful things in the gaming world, like the Harry Potter games still not coming back to this day, which is very depressing. But there we are. But I do think that with Quidditch Champions here, it would have been a fantastic golden opportunity to have renewed the license for Quidditch World Cup. and have got that ported to all systems. There is already a port of it made for the Xbox, for the PlayStation, for the PC. Backwards compatibility is a thing on the Xbox. It is a thing on the PlayStation. There's no real excuse why we couldn't get that added to the backwards compatibility program over there. They could get it done. Likewise on PC, you don't even need the backwards compatibility part. You just need to put in a little bit of effort to remove the broken DRM that's in it and get it put on Steam. You know, everyone then can go and play it, have a great time, and it actually builds up the hype for a new Quidditch game. This would have been fantastic, actually, in my opinion, to bring back Quidditch World Cup to build up the hype for this new game. Because people would be getting on their Quidditch, having a good time, and going nuts on their old game that they loved back from 2003 that's just been brought back to life. It's a missed opportunity. I think it's a shame that Warner didn't take it. Will they do anything with the Harry Potter games going forwards?
Probably not.
Don't see it happening, to be honest, and I don't think anyone should see it happening. The one thing I can say, though, now, this is like the biggest possible opportunity now going forwards, actually, is that Warner has finally opened the gates to other development teams to start making their IPs beyond their internal house developers. This is a big deal, actually, because it means now that we're going to see actual developers who are not even related to Warner in any capacity making their IPs. And that's great. I actually think that's an awesome thing, because then you can get some real different flavours from different companies regarding their IPs. So we could even see some more Arkham games, some really cool Arkham games potentially as well. I think that would be great. But yeah, in the case of HP, there is a possibility now that this could open the door for these old games coming back. The reason why that is because EA and Warner now kind of have that excuse to come back to see one another and go, hey buddy, you know you made those old HP games of ours. Would you mind if we did something with you to make them come back? And EA would go, yeah, I'll do that, because they definitely would. And the real question would be, what would they do with them? Would they just do quick ports effectively of them and go, yep, that's that, call it a day? Or would they potentially remaster them? I think you've got to look at this in two ways. In the case of remastering them, if they're going to remaster anything, it would be the first 3 games at best. Because those were the ones that people loved, those are the ones that people remember, and those are the ones that actually sold well. So yes, at the end of the day, if they're going to remaster anything, it'll be those. However, that then leaves, a lot of the series sort of in the air. So HP4 to HP8 is just kind of left there. And let's be honest, do people really think that they're going to remaster those? Probably not, considering they're not very popular. The only one out of that whole lot that is even remotely popular really is HP5. Let's be honest, it is HP5. The others are all not considered particularly great. So, I mean, sure, they could remaster those other ones, but at the end of the day, I could only see them doing that as a quick buck, effectively. Really, that's just the way it would be. I don't think they'll do it. I think, if anything, they would port them. I'm hopeful that they will port these older games, to PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam. Can't see it happening on the Switch, if I'm honest, because, Nintendo doesn't really like to do anything with older stuff, to be honest, most of the time. And honestly, do you really want a Wii port of Deathly Hallows on your Switch? Probably not. So, yeah, I think realistically it will be ports for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC if it's going to happen. I hope it happens. The door is now open to it potentially happening. There's no denying it. But I wouldn't get your hopes too high. Don't cross your fingers and go, it's going to happen. Because we don't know that. But the door is now open. Whereas before, the door was shut completely forever and was never going to go anywhere. So there you go. Anyway, that's touching on pretty much all the HP related games and stuff on that regard. However, I guess I will ask Connor a funky little question to pretty much end
Ooh,
off the little chat, if you like, which is,
absolutely.
yeah, he's not prepared for this one. What future Harry Potter related games would you like to see from the franchise?
You know what? I did a video on this about 7 months ago or something.
Oh yeah,
One of them was like a Lego Harry, like a Lego style Skywalker Saga type for Harry Potter, but not gonna go with that 'cause that's easy. The one I went with, yeah, just like, I mean, would be something like an aura style, sort of like you're a cop in the Harry Potter world style game, an open world, or even sort of that sort of style game where you're an aura solving crimes, almost, yeah, something along those lines where you're playing an aura. I just think I like police stuff. LA Noir for all it's like don't down stuff. I just enjoy the sort of story of being a police guy, having that sort of storyline where you're an aura. It doesn't need to be set during the Harry Potter times. Can be before, can be after. Just playing as an aura can be first person sort of like style. Don't have to have the sort of interrogation things like that. But a game where you play as an aura is what I'd go for.
interesting. I think the interrogation would be great. You could go up to the person and go, "Did you put your name in the goblet of fire?"
Get someone there to say them out. Yeah, it'd make
Uh,
it a bit too easy.
yeah. No, I think that's quite an interesting one.
Self.
I think that would be definitely something different for the Harry Potter universe. I'm all for having more darker games in the HP related gaming universe. I
Yeah.
think we don't have enough of them. And no, I don't count the Deathly Hallows games as darker games because, to be honest, they didn't feel like it.
No, I mean they're more PG than some of the earlier ones, like Death House Part One. Everything's just PG from the start. But yeah, what would you like?
What would I like? Gnome throwing simulator. um, I don't know really. I mean, I think for me, I would quite like to see something outside of Hogwarts. It's great and all seeing so much of Hogwarts and that. Like Hogwarts Legacy is great. I think it is, but we've got so many other different schools that exist in the magical world that just have never had any kind of recognition really in the gaming world at all. And I just think it would be nice to see something related to them, even if it's a game that involves all the schools combined together in some shape or form. I would like to see that. I would like to see a bit more of an open world aspect for each school. You could almost, if you like, look at it in a Middle Earth Shadow of War aspect, where you've got the different fortresses that you could go to and do different quests and
Yeah,
things like that. It would be a bit like that. I would like to see that in some cases here with all the different schools. And not just, in England, by the way. I'm talking like South Africa, USA, China, Japan, whatever, everywhere. I think it would be really cool to see that. And I think that, to be fair, it's a slept on opportunity, actually. So it's something that I think could definitely really ramp up, if you like, HP gaming to a whole nother level, actually. So, will that ever happen? Probably not, but it would be very nice. If some dev out there wants to go and do that, go and do it. It would be good. To be fair, I'm expecting it now to be EA, and they're going to have physics in like their Frostbite engine where you can, blow up a wall or something. That's what I'm expecting now. But we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Either way, that's pretty much what I would like to see out of a game.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty good.
sounds good.
Right. I don't think there's anything else HP related to talk about. Connor, have you got something HP related to talk about?
No, I am all HP'd out.
He's HP'd out. That means he's quit HP, guys. He's no longer a HP YouTuber. It's all over. It's
No,
all over. Anyhow, if you guys are interested in talking out, jeez, my brain is dead. Let's try that again. Guys, if you are interested in checking out Connor's channel, Harry Potter Explained, I've linked it down in the description of the stream, so you can go and check that out. I do recommend you go and do that. Connor is very much up to date with all HP gaming related news. He will certainly dive deep for you and give you all the information you need right away. I would do that, but I've got too many things to do at once, so I don't do that. And I cover too many games as well, so I certainly wouldn't have time to do it. I'd be all over the place. Maybe one day. Maybe if I have like 15 other editors, I might do it. Well, there we are. Either way, though, do go check out Connor's channel. It's definitely worth your time. You're going to get a lot of awesome HP content there. I seriously recommend it. So go there. Go and subscribe. Go now. This is your opportunity. But yeah, there you go. Otherwise, what I have to say before we end off the stream and say goodbye forever, nah, not quite, but goodbye for the time being, is people that watch my streams are going to be very excited to know that Guitar Hero is finally going to be done. I will be streaming Guitar Hero next Saturday. Yes, you're all finally getting the Guitar Hero that you keep begging for. I know you all want SingStar, but you ain't getting it. So you're getting Guitar Hero instead. But yeah, no, Guitar Hero is coming along. I think the Guitar Hero game I'm probably going to do is Warriors of Rock, possibly World Tour. Haven't quite decided. It's been years since I last played Guitar Hero. Absolutely years. Although I used to be really good at it, so I hope I still am. But either way, I'm looking forward to going back to Guitar Hero. It's been a long time. I think it'll be a lot of fun to come back to it and see some wacky-ass characters absolutely rocking it out on the stage. Having a good time. And then, of course, after the Guitar Hero stream, we will then have the release of Quidditch Champions. So I will be streaming Quidditch Champions after that. And that will be actually during the week again. We will be doing a week stream because, of course, it comes out from my memory on a Wednesday. So, yeah, I will be streaming Quidditch Champions on release day for you all, and we will be diving into it together and having a good look. Will Connor be there on that day with me? I don't know, maybe. We might figure out something. Maybe we'll just go, nah, stuff you, and completely stay together in our own little separate way. But no, I think we'll probably do something together. I'm sure we'll figure it out. But anyway, yeah, there you go. That's next week's stream stuff. Either way, thank you, Connor, for coming on and being a part of this awesome stream.
Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you here. It was great to get your views and opinions, actually, regarding Quidditch Champions. And of course, thank you to everyone that came by the stream. I appreciate there's a lot of talking and everyone's used to a lot of gaming. So, yes, you'll get your gaming, don't worry. But yes, at least you got a little bit of a different kind of stream today where I don't have to put all my time into gaming and instead get to talk about gaming. But there we are. Either way, thank you everyone for coming by today, and I will see you all next Saturday without Connor, but I will see you all next Saturday. So,
see you guys.
See you later.